What up, folks? Mikey
How we
G,
doing?
Maddie Mintz, motherfucking back. We're ready to go, gentlemen and ladies, whoever's watching. Mango, good to see you. I don't think my stream chat is working too great.
Oh, there's Star Girl. What
Star
up, Star?
Girl, one of the people I love the most. She's an amazing human being. Good to see you. Too deep here, as always. We're going to start with the norm, the deets. Number one. Sorry about that. I just dropped something on my mic.
What? Dude, that's got to be a record. That's like the Kumite fastest knockout, fastest blooper of Mikey. 5 seconds
Screwing
into
the
the
stream
stream.
up.
Love it.
We're going to start with saying thank you for all the subs and the follows. We get those turned off because we get real serious and have some awesome convo. And we don't want to erupt these beautiful dudes across the stream from us. Second, we got to talk about...
interrupt. Interrupt, not erupt.
Did I say interrupt, erupt? Well,
You
I
said
don't know,
erupt.
man.
I don't know. Our pets' heads are falling off.
I don't know what the hell I said. But with that, before I get into the midlife thing, Maddie, how you feeling today? I'm tired as shit.
Yeah, I'm way better, man. I'm telling you, that little steroid pack they give you to knock the cough out after COVID, that's real. That is real nice. So feeling good, man. Energized. It's gonna be good. This is one of the conversations I've been looking forward to the most since NFT NYC, because it was just a complete happenstance. Just met these guys at the hate party, and just like it's really cool to see that come full circle, and here we are. So,
I know, man.
Yeah,
this
really
is one of the many reasons. Well, this is one of the main reasons we went to NFT NYC. Now we're here with some cool ass dudes that we hung out at a hate party with, and now we're gonna rock and roll for a couple hours. Before I introduce these five gents, just want to talk about midlife. We do this every episode. Little bit about us. It's really simple. Maddie and I started this company about 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago. And we wanted to do, we've always been into mentorship, leadership. We like to talk to people and just share ideas. And, so the beginning of this year, we got serious, created a mission statement, and it's pretty simple. We want to bring back the lost art of genuine human connection. As crazy as it is, we're getting more and more connected through a digital space, but the actual in-person, genuine human connection, what we're about to do, is going to become more and more scarce. And we super appreciate it, and we love actually talking to new people and hearing their stories because it's fascinating to us. And there's usually a lot of life lessons intertwined with all these conversations. So that's how we kind of manifest that mission statement. And with that, it's been really cool to see. We've had 4 or 5 people come to us helping us out because they believe in our mission and what we're doing, and we're doing things differently in the NFT space. And we'll go past the NFT spaces and beyond into other topics as well. That's our end goal. We're going to be on stages. We're going to be writing books, but we're also going to be doing what we're about to do. And that is having awesome conversations with awesome people. And so I'm going to start with Mike. Mike, the man, he's at the top. Couple quick facts about Mike. Dude has won multiple Emmys. Dude, he has... What? Oh, okay, sorry. I was gonna go with the nonprofits next, but we'll go with the tattoos. We can talk about the tattoos very shortly, but we're going to have more extensive. But he holds a couple or one Guinness Book World Record tattoo. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And then third, my favorite thing, because this is what we really talk about. He's building businesses to give back to underprivileged people. And we think that's extremely special. And it's one of many things that we're interested in doing with our company. And once we started building our wealth ourselves. How you doing, Mike? Welcome to the show.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate it. It was nice to meet you at the hate party. I know you guys we exchanged numbers at the bar. You were drunk dialing me all night. So I appreciate it. But and then we connected. But no, it's cool, man. It's really awesome vibe right off the jump.
I know.
So I appreciate you guys allowing us to speak on this. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. This is the beginning of a long-term relationship. Listen, we're still 100%. Talking. Like you said, we met at HAPE. I was drunk dialing you. Don't even remember doing that, obviously. And now we're here.
It was love at first sight. Don't worry.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember actually when I first saw you, I was like, this guy's going to fucking kick my ass, man. I'm super excited to have you here. Awesome. Once we started talking, it's just, you got an incredible story. So I can't wait to go through that. And then last but not least, our man, Don. So Don is developer extraordinaire. He is developed for massive projects throughout the space, has helped out. He's a skateboarder as well, probably pro level, but just didn't even tell us. But I know he's skateboarding. He's probably super good at it. I always sucked at skateboarding. And then third, he's probably sick of hearing us, but he straight up looks like Harry Potter. So Harry Potter, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
Great. Thanks for having me. Yeah, it was a pleasure. You didn't blow up my phone. Maybe I need to get some tattoos. I'm not pretty enough, but it was good meeting you. I met you the same day as Mike. We were together at HAPE, and yeah, I'm excited to see what the future holds.
Awesome, man. So we are super pumped you're here, and we're ready to have the normal question and conversation. It's going to be world famous here soon. And it's the midlife question. That's the one question we ask, and we're about to vibe out for a while. And we'll start with you, Mike, because like I said, you're on the top here. Please tell us how you got to the seat that you're sitting in today, and feel free to give us Star Wars Episode 1, 2, and 3.
Full story. Let's get it.
So I bought this chair at so
we've had responses like that before, by the way.
Okay, sorry, I'm not original. So yeah, man, my story goes a lot of layers deep. It's kind of an unfortunate situation that happened to me as a kid turned into a very fortunate situation in my adult life. And the unfortunate part I look at now as a privilege, and I went through I overcame a lot of adversity. I got involved in getting tattooed when I was like 20 years old, around 20 years old, or early 20s. I'm 48. So it was back then, it wasn't commercialized like it is now.
Yeah.
Right. I went to a shop in Long Island, Massapequa, run by a guy named Frank Romano. His father was a G. You open up a shop next to Frank or anything like that, you got to get that blessing. It was a whole different code of ethics.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
it was
awesome.
It was a very awesome time to be alive in tattoo culture.
Right.
And I actually did my head back then. So like none of these reality shows are out. I was in New York City going through on the subways, and people were looking at you like you were a criminal because you had your head tattooed. Now it's fashionable.
Right.
Really, it just I started. I have like a pretty extensive entrepreneurial story. I started a production company about 18 years ago, and I remember it was originally a post-production facility. I had it in the West Village. We had 20,000 square foot of space. It was all bootstrapped. I had like 32 edit rooms, and we were post-producing TV shows. And one of the shows that came into my place was Miami Ink, run by Original Media.
Yes.
And that was the first tattoo show on reality TV. And the funny thing is that was the pivotal moment where I saw the transformation of tattoo culture, and I was involved in it. All my friends were started to be on the show, and I was like, what is happening here? I just thought I was going to be, looking like a criminal in business and trying to, overcome that, sort of stigmatism.
Right,
But it quickly caught on, and I was like, oh, this is, and to me, I always do exactly, what I want. I do what's authentic to myself, and I don't even care what anybody else thinks. But I do, try to evolve myself and to sort of, make sure that I'm respectful and I'm
right.
as sophisticated as I can be in a room, so I can keep up with the conversation. I want to make sure that I don't live by the fact that I look a certain way and then they're perceived to me to act a certain way, and I'm kind of the opposite. But so that was a long history with that company, which I can get into a little bit. But we produced. I went from post-production facility to a production company. I produced a lot of TV shows, a lot of unscripted reality. I directed the Monday Night Football Open. I did some Geico spots.
Yes, you did. How crazy is that, man?
Yeah,
Comes full circle.
Right. So we did the Geico pick for the Super Bowl that I directed with Phil Simms for CBS, and it was all happening out of my place, Vidiots. And then I started a music publishing company. So my music publishing company is I have over 100,000 songs. There's 500 writers around the world, and I started it to supply music for my own shows. And then I slowly was like, wait, this is a real business. So I decided to exit my last company by selling it and then coming to this music company full time about 3 years ago.
Right.
And it's been growing ever since. It's been going really well. But the impetus of this NFT project is a really unique scenario. So what happened was I bought a place in LA. I could fully dox myself. I'm in Hollywood, 7135 Hollywood Boulevard. Come check me.
Dude, he's giving out a dress. He's not fucking around.
Hey, man.
I know, right?
Come to my house, say what's up, give me a pound, and you're a part of our community.
Right. Dude, you're better than me. I ain't giving my address out.
I don't give a shit. What are they going to take from me? I live alone, man. I mean, it's just me. So I was in my apartment. I renovated it, and I started looking at my walls, and they were all empty. And I was like, all right, I got to start putting something on my walls. So I decided to go to the art store and paint these big canvases and like put them on my walls, like these big paintings.
Yeah.
And I never painted before.
Right.
So I posted on Instagram, and then I had this art dealer reach out to me, and she was like, I want to rep you as an artist. Right. And I was like, I'm not a street artist, and I don't want to compare myself to a street artist. It's just for myself.
Right.
So then what happened was, I was like, she kept, was very persistent. So I got on the call with her, and then she decided to say, let me talk to our team. So I talked to the team, and this is like, beginning of COVID, everybody's talking about NFTs, right? It was really, really talk of the town. It was really popular. And they kept mentioning NFTs and stuff. And I was like, I just got off the phone with my foundation that I'm affiliated with called For a Bright Future. So I'm an ambassador for a Bright Future, where I help underprivileged, unrepresented kids. So I was talking about NFTs, and I was thinking like, wait a second, I have an idea. I'm like, forget the art. What if we actually, like, somebody sent me a Guinness, somebody that held the Guinness record for the most insect tattoos on their body. They had like 200 and something tattoos. And I was like, man, I beat that guy on my left leg,
Right.
So I was like, what if we, got the Guinness record, built some awareness around that, did an NFT drop with tattoos, and then donated some of the proceeds back to the kids. Because when I was a kid, everybody out there would be like, yo, you put this stuff on your body, you're never going to get a job. And I'm like, now I can use it to make money, to give back to the kids and to help them out. So it was like punk rock for me. It was different.
Right.
And then what happened was, I started to really understand the culture of like, Web3 and NFT. And it wasn't just about drop some images and, do one drop. It's like, you got to create a company and you got to like create a sort of like community. And it's not about just one and done. It's and then some. So, that leads into Indelible. I don't know how far you want me to go into this conversation, or if you want to, you want me to stop.
So let's stop there, because we will talk about the project later.
Sure.
Insane story. Matt, do you want to ask any questions off the top of your head, or go to Don first? What are you thinking?
I do have a question off the top of my head, just a real quick one.
Sure.
Did the progression from post-production, then production, and then the music publishing, did that all kind of flow? Do you feel, here's my real question. Do you feel like each step built you in a place to put you ready, that prepared you for the next one?
100%. So I started as a musician, and then I was recording. So I was like an engineer producer, and then I needed to make money. I was living on people's couches. I was broke, and then I decided to assistant edit because I was like, okay, I can work at. I was working at Sony and VH1 assistant editing their shows when reality just started, and I was loading tapes. And then I was like, what's the next step? Let's edit. What's the next step? Direct. Next step, open up your facility. But I was always very technical too. So for me, like Web3 culture, like I was always on computers. When I was a musician, I was all into sampling and sequencing, you know, back in the day when sequencers were first a thing, you know, like when they first introduced digital audio to sequencers, like, you know, opcode Studio Vision, which probably nobody knows, but it became Logic. And then they had Cubase and Digital Performer and all that stuff. I was very, very technical in that stuff. So for me to talk to Daniel and the team, like I can kind of keep up with these young whippersnappers and make sure that, you know, I'm well, but for me, it was a natural progression along the way for sure. You know, I always look at that in life. It's like, okay, I'm doing this. What's the next level up? I always love to put myself in an uncomfortable situation, and that's how you level up.
And where do you think that came from? Just, you said, you know, the adversity when you were young, or you just always had a passion to learn? Like where do you think all that comes from? Because not everybody feels that way.
So it comes from a very dark place. I mean, to be honest with you, man, I mean, I don't talk about this a ton, but, you know, when I was a kid, you know, I went through a lot of abuse, but I actually got misdiagnosed with leukemia. And when I went through dialysis, I was really, really scared kid. And I just had this visual of like insects eating away at my body when I was going to die. Wow. And that's what created these bug tattoos. So I decided to say one day, you know what? I got to turn my fears into fuel, into like energy. I got to switch the energy. So I made these my armor. And now they're like different meanings of different, you know, different insects have different powers and different meanings. So to me, it's it all fueled from anger. You know, when I was a kid, I was just frustrated and angry and scared. And right. I never took that road. You know, listen, I don't advocate for this, but I did do a really bad tab of acid when I was going through leukemia, a dialysis, and I actually almost didn't come back for a year. It was the most insane. So for me, after that, I didn't do any drugs. I got myself back on path, and every step of the way, I was like, what's the positive way that I can take this road? Am I going left to like numb the pain, or am I going to start, you know, building from here? And that's kind of like what I do. And I use that, you know, all that stuff as energy.
Yeah. Well, one immediate reaction is thank you for being vulnerable and telling us that story. And two, just to go there too, I went through some crazy mental health stuff. So I'm with you, because when you said dark times brought out the good in a way where it made you realize what was important and helped to drive you. Same thing happened to me, man. So it's awesome. The question is, and the hardest part about life is, can you turn that dark into light? And it ain't easy, man. It ain't easy. Maddie.
But you know what though? Sorry to interrupt you, but
no.
Once you hone in the energy, it actually becomes much easier, because it's all it is energy. And I tell everybody, even youth culture, like that was a privilege in my life, man. All that gave me my drive. I love my story. I don't look at myself as a victim mentality. If you know how to just switch that energy, you can outbeat anybody. Every big icon in the world has some mental struggles going on in their head, I believe. You know, so
100%.
Yeah.
If Bruce Wayne didn't fall in that bat cave, you know, so that's he made that his armor. See, there you go. We got 100%. Bruce Wayne and freaking Daniel Radcliffe here. This is insane. Star-studded show. Star-studded.
Matt, did you want to add anything too? Because I heard you pep up before that.
No, just I appreciate you sharing that. I mean, I think that's a massive, massive point in terms of just personal growth for people. You know, I think we've all heard that proverb. You know, you have the two twins that grow up. One became a drunk, one became a millionaire. And when asked, both of them said the same reason was, well, my dad was a drunk. You know what I mean? And so it's like, you know, you can take the same thing and make it the reason you fail, or you can make it the reason you succeed. And you made it the reason you succeeded, and I think that's powerful. So that's awesome, man.
So many reasons to live, man. So many reasons. There's so much good, so much more stuff you can get off the earth as a high by just living and being healthy. And you know, I hope, like, you know, young kids are listening to this and understand that, like, if they feel like they're struggling, like there's always a positive there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. You know, you just got to stick through it.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
believe me, it's an up and down, like you just said, Mike. You know, it's like, but you stick with it, and it will pay dividends. You know, it always does.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, you make a good point there, and I don't talk about this much. Is when I went through all my shit, and I remember like getting out of it, thinking to myself, like, this is how I want to feel. I got my shit, my mind straight, but I didn't fall back into the same trap of life's going to be good going forward. I literally remember thinking to myself, like, this ain't going to last long. Something else is going to hit the fan. Took a month, shit hit the fan again, bro. But now you have a new set of tools to help get through that, right? And it just doesn't, man, it's just so, I love how you're saying this, because things suck now, but I feel like it's going to be okay because I can get through them because I have some experience to handle it, right? So anybody that buys our NFT or not can still reach out to me if they're struggling with any mental health issues. I'm happy to help. Dude, you are the
doesn't
man.
matter.
Awesome. Yeah, and that's what I vividly remember, like meeting you at the hate party. And it happened to me, like, and I'm sure you get this all the time. It's like, dude, you're covered in tattoos. It's like an intimidating look. And then when I started talking to you, I'm like, shit, man, this guy is one of the nicest, genuine, like, kind dudes that I've met at the whole week at NFT NYC. And by the way,
I appreciate it.
He's a rock star entrepreneur. And it's just so cool to be able to meet new people, and, you know, that it happens all the time. Like, do people perceive people being a different way, and then you just actually take the chance to talk to them, and you're like, holy shit, these people are awesome.
I appreciate that, man. We're all rock stars in their own right.
Hell
you know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
man. We were rock stars that night.
We're in competition. Everybody's in competition with themselves. So if you look at yourself yesterday and you look at yourself today and you're growing, you're a rock star, man. That's all. You know, it's like
100%.
Yeah. 100%. So, but I appreciate that. Thank you for the kind words. You know,
absolutely, man.
I was definitely, you know, I love passionate people, and I respect, you know, just the genuine sort of back and forth that we had. And to me, like, learning what you guys are doing, it's like, hey, any way that we can help each other out, because, you know, I've been in business for so long, and I'm 48 years old, like I said, and I'm still starting from scratch every day. And it's great. You know, I humble myself all the time. Doesn't matter where I was, it's where I'm at now. And it's like,
absolutely.
Who cares? You know, who cares what I have and what I've done? It's like, what am I doing? You know, and that's what life's all about.
Right. Yeah. I mean, perfect example. I made a life decision to sell my house in the Bay Area, move in with my in-laws because they're going to retire, and we're going to build them basically an in-law suite and have a generational home. Not many people in their 40s would do that because of the perception of, you know, having a generational home. But it's opened up a world of opportunity to me, and I'm thankful every day that I can do something like that.
Absolutely.
And making those life decisions to pursue your dreams is so critical. But
100%.
I love this conversation. We're going to keep on going, but I don't want to leave Don hanging because he's got some skateboarding to do. And
I got to say one thing. Daniel, which is his Discord name, Daniel is like one of the, you know, smartest but coolest guys. You don't meet a lot of nerds that are actually cool. So that's my man right there. So Daniel.
See? Dude, and this is what we were just talking about.
Daniel, it was meant to be.
His name literally is Daniel. He literally is Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, it is Daniel Radcliffe. Sorry.
No, but that
not the best in public when people are yelling Daniel and it's actually your name. You don't know.
Oh yeah, right. Oh, geez.
They're like, holy shit, it really is.
That is crazy because you're like responding and then you got to act like, oh no.
I don't want to tell this story again. But yeah, Daniel, I was calling you Don because that's, you know, what's on the screen. Do you want me to call you Don or Daniel? What do you prefer?
Either are fine.
We're going
with
Don.
Don.
We're going with Don, man.
It's a one syllable. It's quicker.
Donnie D. We're going to call you Donnie D. That's what we're going to do.
My last name actually starts with a D, so that does work.
Oh, well, now we're just going to rack it up. Now you're officially Double D. So Double D.
Sure, Double D.
Same question for you. How did you get to the seat that you're sitting in today? Love to hear that journey, man.
Yeah, for sure. it's not as interesting. I have actually 0 tattoos, but I started ever since I was a kid. I was actually making YouTube videos and like skateboarding when I was like 11, and I was kind of like a builder in that world. Like I made like little animations and I would make websites and whatever was available back then. I just loved building, and then I started getting paid by YouTube when I was like still in middle school. So that was like really cool.
Wow.
Um, and then yeah, so then I got to college and I picked computer science because I just wanted to take building to the next level. And it was just really fun to me, like taking my first Java class and my C++ class. It was really cool. And so then when I got to CSUN, I was working at a gas station during the night, and then I was going to school during the day, and that was like that's how I would like pay tuition, and that's why I work until 5 a.m. now, and then I'm like messing up all of Mike's meetings and all the Indelible meetings because I can't even wake up. I sleep at like 5 a.m. every day. But that's just kind of like how I've been trained and how I like the best time, like my peak mental is about like 2:30 a.m. because of
Whoa.
that. But I just love coding in the middle of the night. So yeah, I went to school for that. And then after college, I actually started um, a photography company. I was taking pictures of houses, and I started building out systems on like scaling the business. Eventually grew it to like 10 employees because I kind of wanted to use what I knew from the computer science and to build the systems. And I built little tools like paywalls for other photographers to use, where it's like your clients can't download the photos without paying you, and it was like using the Dropbox API, stuff like that.
That's cool.
And then using Zapier to do all the automations and scale it up to make it a business that could run without myself. And yeah, but that the cool part about that job is like so it's real estate photography. So I've like recently I shot Walt Disney's house in Malibu, $65 million house.
Wow.
And the guest house is rented out by Brad Pitt. That's how you know you made it, when he's renting your guest house, not even
Oh
your main house.
my gosh. What a
And
freaking wild story.
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
and then I did Tupac's last house, and he actually carved the lyrics in the floor, and it's still there. So
Wait,
I
wait,
mean,
wait, 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 wait. I need to stop you right here. You just started your story by saying it's not that interesting. And you just talked about shooting Walt Disney House, Brad Pitt in the guest house, and seeing carved shit by Tupac. Come on, bro. You got to give yourself some
I
more
mean,
credit.
that's legit.
That's
I
legit.
appreciate that. Yeah, and I'll show you. Maybe I'll pull it up. Send it to you later. You could even like put it on the
So
screen if you want.
pause real quick. I just this has to be said.
Mhm.
Every time we do this, and you all folks know, but before we get on stream, we have a conversation with the guests, and one of the things we like to do is we like to find some nuggets, like some interesting facts, right? Because you hear Mikey say it, and here's what's funny to me: we're sitting here talking to Don, and hey, we're looking for some interesting facts, and here's a guy that shoots Walt Disney's house with Brad Pitt in the guest house, and his answer is, "I skateboard." And it's like, listen, man, I think skateboard awesome too, but I feel like that might have been a good little tidbit that you could have, thrown in there for some juice. Just saying, future reference. But it always makes me chuckle because it happens every time people start telling their story, and these little gems pop out, and Mike and I are like, that was
So many.
exactly real, but it's so good. I'm glad it's coming out now. So keep going, man. This is cool. So you're shooting Tupac's old house, maybe his
Yeah.
current house. That's the controversy. The whole Machiavelli thing. Maybe
He
maybe it
might
still
be
is
Well,
his.
alive.
the person that bought it, I think, is the biggest idiot because they took his purple studio and renovated it into a regular bedroom. That was like a piece of history, and they just threw it
Dude,
away, which is like
rookie.
ridiculous to me. And then,
That angers me. That angers me.
Yeah.
yeah, and it's funny actually. The same month I did Dr. Dre's, and I broke something in there, and that was like the scariest moment of my life. But luckily, it was a $2 vase, so that was fine.
I mean,
Um,
he is a billionaire, so he probably could have fixed it.
Yeah.
I don't know about
yeah,
now. He got a divorce. His wife took some of that.
Ooh, yeah,
I
that
mean,
money is dwindling
half a
quick.
billion, still
Exactly.
pretty good on
Of
buying a
course,
base.
he's doing fine. Yeah.
yeah, and then COVID hit. I started getting into TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
I I made an account. I was just messing around. It reached like 250K followers. And then after that, I took my real estate business and my TikTok business and I combined it to make like hype houses in LA where I'd rent these like mansions and put TikTokers in there for free and let the brands come and pay us to utilize them. And that's how I found out about NFTs pretty much because NFTs started coming because like in the beginning, like 18 months ago or I don't know, like 12 months ago, they would call the influencers, like all the NFT projects, like they would call like the Jake Pauls of the world and the Mayweathers of the world back when it was like all ruggy times.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of like how I learned about it so early. And then okay, well I've been doing this like so like I was like fuck it, let's bring out the old skills. I opened like some Solidity tutorials and it was already like everything I knew. And I just felt like it was destiny. So I started developing projects. I've been on a bunch of big projects, and then a lot of them are like I had to sign NDAs, so I can't say it. I think I've told you, Mike, because he's on my team. But like some stuff, even like a couple weeks ago, that did like 500 ETH. It's like through like back last summer when it was like super hype, when they would do like 3 million, no problem, and then like in January, and then like during the crash, and then now with like this random pump because. So I've been through like I've been developing ever since like for the past like let's say like 12 months. So I've been a part of a lot of projects and now we're developing something really cool which we'll expand on later with this. This is probably the most interesting smart contract because Mike had this amazing idea about this NFT project Indelible and what we're developing. So we'll expand on that later, but this is probably the most exciting one that I'm making.
Yeah, no, dude, I love it. And so we need to rewind here for a second because I'm very interested in this renting mansions for TikTokers and then filming it. Like, how did that profit work? Like, what was the concept there? I'm certainly not understanding exactly how you were making money doing it. Uh-oh.
And then
I think we got rugged.
Yeah, it was.
Hold on.
Oh, do you hear me?
I still hear.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, we're good.
Yeah, so you pretty much it would be like a trade. Like I'll tell the influencers, hey, like these TikTokers, they're like 19 and like they're 20 and they don't have credit and obviously they can't live in a mansion. So I'll be like, I'll fly you out. Also, their parents are not going to support their career because a lot of the parents right now don't understand that you can make money as a content creator.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll fly you out. You could live there, and then brands will call us and be like, I want a shout out. And then if you live there, you kind of like trading with shout outs as your payments. So like we made some drop shipping stores and we made them like these cyber glasses. We made them wear the glasses, or we'll have brands call us for shout outs. And then we also like rented them out for like parties and like influencer events with brand sponsorships. So that's how it would cover the monthly payment. So I wouldn't buy the house. I would just lease it, pay the monthly payment, and it covers itself.
That's genius. So you basically were doing a hype house in essence, but you weren't the talent manager. You were more just doing brand deals.
Correct.
Right. Awesome.
Yeah,
dude,
it was pretty fun. It was probably the craziest few months.
Yeah.
Ever.
I can't imagine what that was like.
Yeah, and you got to do like weird things. Like we had like parties. We were gonna bring a giraffe, because these influencers got to make the YouTube content always has to push forward and be crazier and crazier. So,
right.
Yeah.
So like it was fun. There was definitely some insane nights there.
I can only think of The Hangover when you said that.
Yeah. I had to get Ivy.
That's
the
fantastic.
Ivy person, I had her on speed dial. That's for sure.
Dude,
oh, geez.
So you rented a giraffe at one point? You said?
No. He wanted to.
We were going
to. I was like, shit, man, this is great. Dude,
Fantastic.
your story just escalates and gets crazier and crazier.
But it makes more sense now because but even at the hate party, we were talking with Mike, and it's funny because we were just literally just like the initial intro conversation, like who are you? Who are we? We hadn't even gotten anything yet. And dude, you popped in there and it was so quick. You were like, business. Here's what we're doing. We got to talk. Let's, your people call my people. And I was like, all right, this guy he gets
it.
He's doing things. And so it just chuckle a little bit because it was like, okay, that's that when you're talking about the background of setting up these TikTok parties, I'm like, you're not just a coder and a skateboarder. You got some hustle going on there, and that's awesome.
Yes.
I like it.
What did I say? He was the coolest coder out there, man.
Dude,
Yeah.
the most interesting coder I've ever talked to on this show.
I mean, he went to Hogwarts, folks. That's
Daniel and I are probably like so in line with everything that we're doing with this company. Every time we talk about things, because he's very entrepreneurial and he's been in the mud, in the weeds of it.
Yeah. Right.
So he gets it, So that's why super.
Double D, some time to breathe. How did you all meet? And how did this kind of this partnership made in heaven form?
It was actually not a super long story. It was just through a mutual friend.
Okay.
And she introduced us, and we kind of hit it off the top. When I met him and I pitched the concept, he got it right away. And I think he saw the vision, but he also took it one step further. Like he was like, we can do this and we can do that. And then everything that he was saying, I was like, yes. Because the one thing that I was very careful of is not losing the foundational core element of like tattoo culture.
Right.
Even though it's a Web3 project, we don't want to do a Web2, business here. But there's still a culture there that we have to deal with tattoo artists and the art form of it and everything. It's very finicky. So
right.
You want to say something?
And you say something very special there, because this is, again, one of our biggest gripes. We get asked all the time, like, what do you look for in a project, and what do you think helps make projects successful? And it's always the same things, entrepreneurship, mindset, proven founders, utility, an idea that has a future, that are building a company, right? But one of the things too is people have tried tattoo NFTs before. I don't think any of them really worked out. But you understand the culture, and that's just such a game changer to be able to have someone that understands the culture, that was literally getting blessed by the OGs back in Rhode Island or Long Island or wherever you were.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, you've been in this shit for a while.
Yeah, on both sides, like the OG side, and then when you said Miami Ink, and you really saw that transition, you've seen it all, and the network you have there, that's got to be something powerful. I mean, I imagine you're utilizing that for what
100%. 100%. But the big thing with Indelible is the fact that I've seen tattoo projects where they want to take NFTs and actually tattoo them on bodies. Right. And that's not what we want to do. We actually want to go the opposite. We want to take real tattoo art and put them on the NFTs. And the reason why we want to do that is so we can further monetize people's IP rights. Like it's almost like the sticker game of the wearables or something. Like we're actually adding coolness to people's NFTs. And then there's utilities that we can tie to real tattoos and street art and stuff like that. But the foundational element is Web3.
Right.
Like to me, it's like I'm just imagining this fantasy world of all these NFTs tatted up, like they look like they all came out of prison. I'm like, yo, dope. It's like, you know what I mean? I'm just like, I just, you see all these cool characters. I'm like, those characters need to have tats on them, So I think just the visual representation of it's so cool, especially when you get like these really big influential artists around the world that give us their art and we put them on the characters. Now you got like an amazing character with an amazing tattoo artist, and it all comes together synergistically.
Yeah, dude, it's incredible. And I don't know if you're planning or using kind of your background and your intimate knowledge with tattoo culture is building the story for Indelible, but if you haven't yet, I think that would be super valuable. Even tying in, you might not want to go like hard down the Miami Ink route. I think it's more of the story of like, you're an OG, you've been there for day one. If you want anybody running a tattoo project, it's me, right? And just making sure that you ingrain that narrative in there, because I think that's super important.
So the funny thing, I appreciate that, and I think we're right in line with exactly what you said. The first drop we're doing is this was a hard one for me, because I'm like I'm a very reserved person. I like to be behind the scenes, but I'm putting myself out there more, and you have to dox yourself too. And part of doxing myself is actually putting myself in the first drop too. So we've actually organically tied it in. So we basically took my Guinness story, my whole backstory as an entrepreneur, like you said, the Miami Ink stuff and everything. And we've taken these insect tattoos. We had them redrawn by 3 big tattoo artists, like one of the biggest in the world. And we're going to put them on a blue chip NFT company and drop that as our first collection. So imagine having like the scorpion on like on a Bored Ape as a rarity. Like that's what we're doing for our first collection. So that kind of gets us
loving it.
Yeah, so that gets us in that space. And then the second drop, what we're doing is we're selling these. This is going to be our PFP, which is a tattoo machine.
I love.
So we sell these PFPs. That what's going to be tied to this is a famous tattooer's art, and you can buy the machine. You can buy 3 of them, and you have that art attached to this, and then you give us your NFT, PFP, and we tat it up, and we burn this, and we give you your PFP back tatted up.
Right.
So.
Right.
So it's a way that you can collect these too. You can collect one. So say you have like a really big tattoo artist and you can hold this for a year. And then eventually you say, you know what, I want to book that tattoo time and burn that needle and put it on my new PFP. And it makes it even more rare.
So can we how about we do this though? Because I see the excitement coming out of your face is animated. Your voice is elevated. You're pumped. But I don't I want to back up and let's talk Indelible day 1, 2 to 3 minute elevator pitch. And then before you, head out, Don, I would love to hear of kind of your thoughts about how you're bringing kind of the game changing technology or the interesting technology dev work, to the project. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
All right. So you go ahead and start, Mike, with the 2 to 3 minute pitch of what Indelible is and why you're different than any tattoo project that's ever come out before.
Yeah. So we're bridging the gap between Web 2 and Web 3 culture with tattoo art. Now, it's an art form, right? You have like big artists that paint stuff that resonates with NFT culture, but we're actually using tattoo art and we're actually tattooing the PFP characters. And the reason why we're doing that, so you can further monetize your IP rights. A big thing that's being talked about in NFT communities are, what do I do with my NFTs? I own the IP of this character. What do I do? Do I hold it? Do I sell it? Especially in a bearish market, we say, tat the dip, man. Tat the PFP. Tat the dip. You buy it, you tat it, and now you just doubled your wallet size. You have 2 characters, one that's tatted, one that's not. Imagine us being the supreme version of like tattooers, right? Instead of putting the supreme print all over your PFPs, we put the tats all over your PFPs. And there's a story on each drop that we do with each artist,
right?
And then that's going to be tied also to a real world utility, because that's important for us as well. So as a Genesis collector, you're going to get these chains. That's definitely what we're going to give you. We're going to give you guys some too, obviously, because you're part of the family. But the reason why we're doing this is because, I'm from an old school era of communities of like, if a lot of people may not know this.
He's coming right back.
Hold on.
There we go.
Dude, Discord just decided to shut down and restart. Not sure what that was all about.
Nice.
Happens to the best of us,
bro.
Happens to the best of
Dude,
us.
sorry about that.
All good.
Hold on.
Yeah, I can't talk unless I see your beautiful face.
I mean, that's how we all are. It's mesmerizing.
Yeah. Dude, what the hell, man? I looked over at shop and then I had the rotating Discord icon. Now all of our videos gone. Jeez almighty, this is a disaster. Listen, I screwed this up. Well, that was the internet, I think. That's what just happened. Go ahead and talk. I'm going to get the video back up and rolling. But I heard. I
know exactly where I left off.
Okay.
The chain, cool. Right? So back in the day, Rocco Records, owned by Damon Dash, used to sign big rap artists like Jay-Z, Diplomats, Dipset, all these guys. And when they got signed to Rockefeller, they brought them on stage and they put the Rockefeller chain around the neck. You're like, you're part of the community.
Kanye showed that on the Kanye. They showed on his documentary when he got his.
Genius. Right. When they put that on his neck, that was a moment for him, right? And I was like, what is our moment for our community when they get sort of minted into our club? We put this, we give you these necklaces. This is our version of like, this is a club, this is a movement, this is a lifestyle. This ain't going nowhere. Like you're with us now. So I felt like that message had to be important. I see a lot of utilities that are just like have no meaning. It's just cool. This to me has a deep meaning from when I grew up, and when I saw it happen with Rockefeller, I'm like, what's my version of that? Because it's like, this is my lifestyle. It's like,
right.
I want people to be a part of it. You don't have to have tattoos to like be a part of this either. Like to me, I always say this, man, it doesn't matter. Everybody can sit at my table as long as you're real with yourself. I don't care if you have $1 or $1 billion. I know billionaires, I know people that are broke. It doesn't matter. You can like tattoos, you can don't like tattoos. As long as you're real, just be yourself. And if you're real, you're part of us.
Right.
And that's how we look at it. But the big thing that we can do, and I'm going to transition to Don over here, is we do have a big community of tattooed enthusiasts, and we're trying to cross them over to Web3. So there's a technology that, there's a thing that we're building in the tech side of it that Don could speak about. Take it away.
All right, Don.
Yeah, well, I'll start off with the bare bones. So we're using a 721 smart contract, which I'm sure you guys are familiar with by now. Actually, back in January, the day it came out, I was already messing with it before a lot of people even knew what a Nizuki was. I had a Nizuki before it revealed. But yeah, shout out their dev team. They made such an incredible contract. Now pretty much everyone, like Adidas, like really big companies, are using the 721A. And the reason we're using it is because it saves you gas on batch minting, if you don't already know, just for the people that enter the space. So if you mint 10 or if you mint 1, you're paying the same amount of gas. And I've deployed over 10 721As already ever since January, since it came out. And we've had like one of our lowest mints was about like 86 cents in gas. So it was pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah, 721 is amazing. And they're already on like version 4.2.0. They were making a joke that they want to call it the final version because it's like 420.
I was going to say,
yes.
The way you said it, I was like, I know what that is.
We know where
they
this
might
is
make
going.
the next version 4.2.0.69, but we'll see.
Dude, it's Elon Musk all over again.
But yeah, now it even has the functionality for it to be rentable, which that came out like 2 days ago, so I don't even know that.
Rentable?
But
explain that to me. How does that work?
Yeah, like I don't know if you know like Gary V's Flyfish NFTs, like how you could rent it and then go to the restaurant. Yeah, so it's pretty much like that functionality now in the 721A library. But yeah, the collection is gonna be 721A. It's gonna be revealed probably like a week after the launch or like a few days after the launch. And we're preventing from anyone sniping because a lot of people they throw it on the IPFS, they throw all the art on the IPFS, and then when they reveal, all the people can go and snipe like the rare ones before anyone else. So if you like listed it and you didn't know you have like the gold, which I know you had the gold Hape that you sold.
Bro, we had the gold Hape, dog.
There it went.
But yeah, so we're preventing that with other technology with the S3 bucket. And then the coolest part, actually, since we are trying to bring in a lot of people from the Web 2 space, because we have D World of Ink, the Instagram with over 500,000 followers. I don't know if Mike, did you mention that already?
I did not, no.
Yeah, so
D World of Ink, just to say, so Dylan that runs D World of Ink actually has cerebral palsy. I've known him for a while. He's actually a tattooed enthusiast, and he is debilitated physically, but mentally he's one of the sharpest people I've ever met. And I've hired him from all my stuff that I've done in the past, so he had to come on this project. He has 500,000 organic tattooed enthusiast followers following his account. He's one of our community managers.
Oh, that's super cool, dude.
Yeah. So sorry.
No. That's awesome.
No, we can take it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of like one of the bigger audiences that we have, other than obviously Mike's whole team and everyone else that's like coming from the hype of this project. But pretty much, we're gonna do credit card minting capabilities. So number one, so it's safer, and then number two, just for people that don't know how to use Ethereum and how to load up a MetaMask, they can mint. So how it works, we use a technology called CrossMint. Okay. All you need is an email. So you sign up to CrossMint, and then they have their designated wallet where we connect our smart contract to. So if they use the credit card functionality, we send the NFT to the CrossMint wallet, And then now when they log in with their email, they can see it. And if they ever want to export it, and let's say they did get a MetaMask 2 months down the line, they just click export, they put their wallet address, and it sends over. So that's kind of how when he says like we're trying to help bridge the tattoo culture and the Web2 culture into Web3, that's how we are tackling that problem is with credit card minting, but also obviously you can mint with the MetaMask and regular Ethereum. And I wanted to cover another, and so we're using we're kind of entering Web3 for the Web3 technology of the things with the IP rights and the royalty distribution, et cetera. And also one of the main things is the crowdfunding aspect of it.
Yes.
Because Web3 with these NFT projects, you've seen a lot of hype being built, and you've seen a lot of brand recognition and a lot of user acquisition and crowdfunding. And it's usually just been the Web3 people, which is about 500,000 people out of 8 billion in the world.
Right.
And so this is kind of how we want to make that number bigger to bring them into Web3 to help with the crowdfunding side. And then with our utilities, we want to appeal to the masses of those 8 billion people with all the merch that we're making and all the utilities that we haven't leaked yet. But it's kind of like on both sides, we want to appeal to the masses to make this bigger than as big as we can, pretty much.
Right. And so you're saying the real utility here to do that is just accepting normal payments and then only being able to use only having to use an email to get an NFT through this collection, right?
Yeah, pretty much we're opening the door to a lot of people. Like I said, my grandma could do it and she doesn't need an Ethereum. And it's way safer because what if you have a MetaMask and I teach you like everything step by step, but then you click some JavaScript link from a hacker, they're going to hack your MetaMask. So even though you minted correctly and you didn't get hacked, 3 weeks later you get hacked. So if you use like what we're doing with the Crossmint technology is it's safe in that vault and it's not going to get hacked. And you can always just log in with your email and access it.
Interesting. So do you know any other projects that are doing this right now?
Yeah, Crossmint actually has been a part of like 500 mints already this year.
Oh, okay.
So
I have not heard of it yet. Have you heard of it, Manny?
No, I haven't, but I do have a quick question about it though. When you say their vault, is that insured? Like what happens
that's a
if
great
they
question.
get hacked?
Yeah,
Obviously, they're not going to send out a JavaScript link, right? It's not going to be like that. I'm saying like something elaborate. You know what I'm saying? Something much because as they hold more and more of these, they become bigger and bigger a target, right?
Right.
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
It's
So
just,
I
it
would
was just a
assume
thought. I didn't know if they have an insurance policy of some sort.
If I had to guess, it's probably the same thing as having Coinbase wallet or something, right?
Right.
Like it's like it probably acts the same way, but the security is the fact that they help you with all the security issues of not getting hacked because they're not going to click on JavaScripts and stuff like that. That's why they get. I don't think it's FDIC insured because there's no regulations.
Well,
right?
certainly not FDI. What I meant was more just so like we had a project on that was doing Pokemon cards, and they had a partnership with basically Brinks. I mean, essentially, right? And they have a warehouse where they were holding the physical cards, and it was just interesting because Brinks, of course, being Brinks, has a massive insurance policy because people are storing, freaking world famous art to, whatever. And so I just thought that was kind of interesting because it actually was one of the first things I ever heard that was actually insured. And so this company, that makes me think, like, I wonder if they're doing something. Because again, like I said, it's one thing to have a couple NFTs. It's another thing to be a whale and have a lot of NFTs. It's a whole different thing to be like Fort Knox. Do you know what I'm
saying? I think what's going to happen, Daniel, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the good thing about it is you can actually move your NFT from Crossmint over to a wallet eventually. So I think as you start to grow and get more into NFT culture, you want to move it out of there. Right. If there's a lot of value, you can just move it out.
Right.
Yeah,
that's good.
It's a good Kickstarter, just to get people sort of transitioned and familiarized with culture.
And as you said, the bridge from tattoo. I mean, a lot of the tattoo culture, just being able to, have that conversation and just say all you need is an email and a credit card. I mean, that's a massive plus for people to be able to say, okay, sure, I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's been an interesting sort of back and forth in my brain because like I've been doing press with I did Forbes, I did Inc. magazine, we did all their social stuff that didn't come out yet. Then we did 1:37 p.m. we're doing Cointelegraph. So it's like my brain has to go to like talk to Web 2, talk to Web 3 because we're a Web 3 project. So, but the main objective is to actually bring them over into this world, not say, let's split the world. It's not a split world. I love this like technology and sort of NFT culture and the sort of business around the capabilities around the business.
Right.
So for us, it's like just speaking to them in layman's terms and really getting them in one by one, slowly. And that's why we do the IG lives as opposed to the, Twitter spaces, speaking to that community. A lot of Web 2 people are on IG, not Twitter. So we want to hit all publications on both sides and utilizing whatever side of it. So if it's like my entrepreneurial story, it's Forbes. If it's my tattoo story, it's Inc. magazine. If it's the Web3 story, it's 1:37 p.m. It's like, so we're hitting all three.
Or midlife crisis. Come on, dog.
My bad. My bad. I mean, that was what I did. I'm talking about now. Forget it.
Moving forward.
Moving forward. Well, we are progressing. So
you're moving up in the world. This is
we're moving up in the world.
Yeah. So I know you gotta go. You got some obligations, Don. Is there anything else that you want to add in before we'll let you go on your merry way? Your story absolutely fascinating. I wish we could. The one thing, because we've talked and I've known, I know some of the projects that you work on. All we can say is Don is the real freaking deal.
Real Don. He's the Don.
He's the real Don. Double D, real Don, man. He's not messing around. And there are some names that you've heard of that he's probably helped out and as a whiz kid when it comes to developing. Anything else you want to add, man? Because I really appreciate your time.
Well, I appreciate all the good feedback. But yeah, I mean, we covered it pretty much. This is like such an amazing project and I'm really excited to be on it. And I don't know if we touched on the royalties, so I might just touch on it a little bit.
Yeah, do it. Yeah, let's get it.
So with the Mark 1 of our NFT project, so we're sublicensing this blue chip project that we can't mention yet. So pretty much we're signing up 100 of them. So I'm just gonna call it Bored Ape for now. Like we get 100 Bored Ape people that own Bored Apes, and we tell them one by one, because right now we're doing outreach individually, and we're telling them we want to sublicense your NFT and we want to create a true derivative of it. And what I mean by true derivative is we're getting a real world-renowned artist. And number two, we're actually sub-licensing it from you, and we're splitting the royalties with you. So we're going to get 100 of these blue chips, and then we're going to make variations of them with with different types of bugs. So Mike will talk about like the different meaning of the different insects probably after I get off. But let's say you have blue chip number 5. We're going to make 10 different versions with it. And we're going to have one with the scorpion, one with the butterfly, because they all have different meanings. And they're all going to be tatted up. And that's going to be what our collection is. And then when we drop our collection, whatever sells from your art, you get the initial sale. You split the initial sale revenue with it and all royalties for life. So not only is it like a derivative, we're not just stealing art, we're putting a real artist on it, but we're sub-licensing and paying you out from your IP that you actually spent money on.
So if I'm hearing this correctly, we're, hypothetical situation, it is Bored Ape and you get 100 Bored Apes, right? You're now putting tattoos on these Bored Apes. When you mint your collection, if I have a pre-sale spot or I buy in, I'm actually buying a Bored Ape with a tattoo, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
So now I kind of got a little bit of clout because I got a blue chip NFT with some cool ass tattoo on it that has meaning, but then skin in the game for the original owner because as mine continues to sell, they're getting royalties, correct?
Exactly.
Dude. Now we're talking.
Love it.
So imagine sending your body to get. You don't even have to feel the tattoos. You can have somebody else get the tattoo appointment.
Right.
Deal with the pain and everything.
So it's
exactly.
It's actually a real business, not like a mutation money grab like Ozzy Osbourne's bats, right?
No, real business.
Yes,
Yes.
I like it. I
Yeah.
like it. No,
Because
that's cool.
the culture is endless.
Yeah. Yeah.
The artists are endless. The culture is endless. There's so
Hmm.
many on our roadmap. There's so many things that we have on our whiteboard that we're discussing.
Yeah.
In the future, we have our sort of step one, step two, step three, but we also have our step 5 to 20
Sure.
dream scenarios, and where we're having those conversations. It's like there's so
Dude,
many things that we can do with this project.
so cool.
Well,
Such a cool
and it's
concept.
and it's an established community. I mean, how many conventions and TV shows? I mean, just talking about the one you produced. I mean, between Miami Ink. I mean, it's tattoos have blown up.
Yeah.
And you go to a tattoo shop, they're gonna have some award up there. It might just be some local tattoo convention, but like they're there and people go to them. People are constantly involved with them. There's a whole bunch of media that's focused on it. So once you kind of when you can make the jump in there with Web3, there's a lot of that culture that's you're going to be able to mix around in and really get a lot of eyeballs on. And I think that's going to be cool.
And intentionally we created the graphics. Our logo is like this white on white effect. It's like
Yeah.
this all liquid effect, and we did that to make like a very sort of identifiable logo, and it's drawn by BJ Betts, which is one of the biggest tattoo artists for script writing in the world. He did our logo, but also it's a blank canvas for any collabo we do. So when you watch the ink drop in our tees and you
Yeah.
see that red ink,
Yeah.
that's identified with the brand that we're collaborating with, the artist that we're collaborating with, wherever
Yeah.
those collabos are. So we can do blue, we can do red, we can do yellow. Imagine these different brands that are out there that once we start to integrate it with our logo,
Right.
it seamlessly works visually.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
and that was an intentional thing. We didn't want to make a red logo because then it's like, how does that
I
work
get it.
with East LA? There's
Right.
a lot of great artists in East LA. That's
Right.
crip culture.
Right.
But so that was all done intentionally as well.
I love it. So maybe because I actually really now having that explainer, I would love to show your trailer if you don't mind. I'll just blow it up on the screen. I'll cover us up, and then that'll give you an opportunity to say goodbye, Don. Again, we really, really appreciate it. Maddie, any other final question or final thoughts for Don before he heads out?
Oh, man, it's been a pleasure. I appreciate it. Thanks for explaining in a way that how to say this. I think I am impressed with your ability as a person who studied software engineering and a coder to say things that I can understand as a non-software engineer. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I think a lot of software engineers start getting in the weeds and start talking code, and I get it. It's all they see all day, but it's not helpful because I'm like, I don't know what that means, right? And when you explain these things and why it's important, what it matters to me, what it's going to do for gas prices, how it makes it safer, how I have insulation, or if I want to use with a credit card or an email. I just think that those are really good bullet points, and I think those are very sellable bullet points. And so, like I said, you definitely have a little hustle in you. You're putting TikTok massive parties with snakes and stuff like that together. So I can tell you got both sides of the brain when it comes to that stuff, and it shows. So thanks, man. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate it. And just I'll say a little bit more right before I go. Yeah, so just when me and Mike originally talked, we saw this problem in the space. Like you're spending hundreds of thousands on a Bored Ape, you're getting IP, but no one's really doing anything with the IP. You see a little bit like you see the restaurant and you see like these like TV shows coming out, but
Yeah.
that's where we wanted to kind of come in and be the pioneers of like the IP space and trying to solve that problem and create the narrative and maybe eventually create an open source of this technology to be the standard. How 721A is now the standard for the smart contract. We want to kind of be the standard for derivative NFT projects. So kind of like the bigger picture. And also, Mark 1 was a proof of concept where we tattoo the blue chip project. Mark 2, we drop the needles and we let you tattoo anything in your wallet, kind of like you said about the Ozzy Osbourne. And then the third generation drop is the derivatives from Mark 2. So that's when we bring the community to life and it's just full circle.
Dude, what a cool ass idea. I love it. And I actually love how you just put that because I wasn't thinking it that way. Is as you create this technology, you are going to become an Azuki in a sense because you will be the 721T or whatever it is, right? And which essentially is a contract API for you to use the same technology to put artwork on said NFT. Is that am I reading that correctly?
721D for Don.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean the trendsetters and the first movers in the space always do the best. Like Bored Apes were the first to do the apes, and then you saw a million ape derivatives, and then Invisible Friends were like doing the walking thing, and then everyone started walking, and then 721A set the standard, and everyone's using the 721A now. So just another angle. We're trying to tackle this and be the biggest we can.
Well, you better be you would be happy to know that there are multiple "can you take my money now to save me a spot in chat." So you're selling people already, and you really haven't shown anything. So people are pumped, man. So I appreciate it, and I really appreciate, like Matt said, I think you do a very good job of explaining it in layman terms to make people understand the powerful part about what you all are trying to accomplish. My final ask is just, can we just make the contract 721 double D and we'll be good to go?
All right, deal.
Man, you have a good night. Have fun doing what you're gonna do, and please, please, please promise me that we will have more times to be on video and vibe together, because it was fun.
For sure. Thanks for having me. Yeah, we'll do it again a little down the line when we have some more developed.
All right, brother. Have a good night.
Yep. We'll see you.
Daniel, good seeing you, brother.
Yes. Talk to you tomorrow. See you guys.
Later, man.
See you.
Hey,
All
guys.
right, so Mike, you're going to do the trailer?
Yeah, I want to do the trailer. I also want to introduce everybody to, I have a couple team members here too. That I want to introduce.
Hell yeah. So let's go through the team members real quick, except now that he left, our windows are all out of whack. I think yours is actually pretty good, so I think you're okay. So let me go ahead, give us the deets, introduce some team members. I'd love to say hi to them.
All right, so I met this dude about 7 years ago by the urinal in a boxing gym that he owned. And I found out that actually they were taking on investors. It's called Rumble Boxing. And I was working out there, and I didn't know they were taking investors. We struck up a conversation. I, loved the dude right off the jump. His passion was like, resonated in the room. I was just like, wow, this guy is like so into what he does. And then I did some back, story on him. He was telling me a little bit about the company and what they're looking to do and their roadmap. And about a week later, I cut him, a check and said, I want to be an investor. And to this date, they just sold the company $300 million to Exponential Fitness. They're actually franchised 300 gyms that are starting to pop up now. So if you're talking about a person that is an amazing person, but also knows how to build a brand and knows how to build a model that's scalable, and the access and that he has is endless. He's been in the game for a long time, and he's not only a smart guy, he's really good friend of mine. I just want to introduce him. Noah, he's a partner on the project, by the way. So
that's
Noah,
awesome.
His name, and he's in my place.
I need you to announce me like that before I walk into any room.
Dude, nice to meet you, bro. Welcome
Very
to
nice
the
to meet
show.
you. Thank you for having us. I've been listening in the background. I mean, this man is being very humble. I saw he came up to me. I think I was still shaking after I was done peeing, and he came up to me. He's like, "Bro, I love your brand," and I was like, "Hold on, buddy.
This is a little too personal, bro."
I turn around and I see this fully tatted man up, and he's like, "I love the class. I had such a good time," and we struck up the conversation, and it was this. I'm a big fan of picking up on people's energy. I started out as a trainer in New York City. Yeah. That's how so I instantly have to connect to people of all different walks of life and just all different personalities. And I saw him and I was just like, I need this man to be a part of this brand that we're building. And I think that what makes Indelible special is the people involved, our ability to execute as a business, but also we've been in this game for 20 years. So we're value givers. So my role is to, once we build this tremendous community, and thank you for helping us build it.
Absolutely.
What can we give to them? Is it monetization? Is it, I reference Azuki a lot because I think they're really doing a lot for their community. And they got this dope jacket that everybody's talking about. They just airdropped it. But imagine if I use my connections to make that jacket, and this isn't a direct example, but Louis Vuitton, using my brand relationships, or, you know, a big brand that I've worked with for 10 years that believes in us, that I can then, I don't care, I want to give that value and transition that to our community. So you're going to see a lot of really cool in real life products and experiences, coupled with the fact that we're trying to make y'all money. We're trying to get you something really dope that's going to be able, that you can capitalize on.
Yeah, dude.
Love it.
So nice meeting
you
like that.
So that's my role. And I thank Mike and the team for letting me do that, because that's what I love to do.
Yeah. So what I heard kind of correctly is you're really going to be hammering down on these kind of Web 2 traditional business relationships and bringing them into the Indelible project. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think, thank you. Sitting there with Mike. I'm sitting there like the Instagram girl pose, the OnlyFans pose. Sorry. Yeah. So that I think that, you know, I just had a really cool meeting with this guy Nick on Gary Vee's team, and he was talking about, all right, everyone talks about Web 3 and Web 2, but what's Web 2.5?
Right.
What's Web 2.2? How can we grow this into something that's viable? I mean, the tech is incredible. I mean, it's viable. It is the future, 100%. But as you know, right now it's like the wild, wild west with cash grabs and all this. There's not a lot of structure to it. So what I want to do is I want to use what I've done in real life and on Web 2 and Mike as well, to build the structure, build the bones, be kind of the sheriffs of this new wild world, so that we can actually create a great business that's going to improve the space and legitimize the space for everybody. And we've done this. We've done this in every arena possible. You know, whether it's selling CDs on the street corner in New York, and then, you know, or starting, you know, a world-renowned music publishing company. Like, we've been there trying to test it. So I think that we have you met Daniel, obviously, such a strong Web3 focused team. But again, what about that period? What about that transition period from 2.2 to 2.5 through 3.0?
I mean,
you know, not putting the cart before the horse, so to speak.
Right.
Yeah,
so
but there's a balance there.
I come from.
There's a balance there, and you know, Mike and I talk about it often, that there has to be real business experience if you're going to make something happen, but not just real business experience, credible business experience. And there's a difference there too, right? Current credibility is a big deal, right? Somebody that maybe sold something back at 1978 and they're at a country club right now, and I get it, they're well, and props to them, they made it, they did it, but they may not be the best ambassador to, you know, Web3. What I think is interesting, though, is that you did this in an environment. First of all, the fitness world is insane. There's 1,000 new gyms that are new names popping up every day, you know, and so it's an extremely, extremely saturated market. And that's what I got out of that, is you were able to start there as a trainer, thrive, build up a business, build up a brand in Web 2 amongst literally millions of competitors. And so if I'm thinking, what is somebody who's going to build a brand in this space going to need to be able to do? They're going to need to be able to do that. And you have current credibility in that area. And I think that speaks volumes. And I mean, I think you said it best. Like, this isn't just a team of like, hey, one big person and then some people we don't know. This is like all the big guns in one team, which is pretty impressive. Very impressive.
Super.
Kind of like Voltron. Like we're like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Like, we all have our direct lanes, and we know that our lanes. But when we come together, it's something bigger than the individual. So I think we worked so well together, and you'll meet Luke in a second. And we were literally in the back while you guys were talking. We were talking about building brands. And we were just talking about, you know, Simon Sinek, Start With Why. We were talking about like podcasts we could watch and TED Talks, and that's what we love to do. That's our passion.
Yo, we're gonna have to.
I could have given somebody my business plan for Rumble, and they wouldn't have been able to execute like us, because they don't have our connections, they don't have community, they don't have our ability to execute on these philosophies and principles and brand parameters and guidelines that we came up with. So again, people, I love competition, and I think every legitimate founder and business owner loves competition because it keeps you honest. I love good competition. If a boxing gym opens up down the street, I want that shit to be great, because a rising tide is going to raise all the ships. I don't want people to get turned off.
We love it.
So if I can help this NFT company be legitimate and have communities buzzing about it, not because of what we've done in our past, not because of how strong the dev team is, but because of the value that we give and what we deliver on and the actual follow through on the brand promises,
right?
Then that's going to be great for the whole marketplace. That's going to be great for every brand. And then there's just going to be more customers, more consumers. It's just going to be better for everybody.
Dude, you got to promise me one thing though. Before you get all crazy and getting Louis Vuitton and stuff, promise me that we all can have a conversation on how we continue to build our brands together, because I love your energy and I love to tap into some of that expertise, man.
Of course. I would absolutely love that.
I love it, man. Sure. Dude, love the energy. Super excited.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And thank you for really hammering home, because Web3, we have this conversation a lot. I won't go into detail, but we've talked to founders, literally the same party where we met Mike. We were talking to another founder and he was like, dude, this is the gold rush in Web3. People are scamming. He's like, the only people that are going to survive are people that have business plans, that have experience. And you're putting together some titans of the Web2 that understand the technology. And we just got off the stream with Don, who's already done some crazy dev work for Web3 projects. That is what is important. So it's awesome to see you guys just assembling something pretty special. And I mean, Matty and I were saying, like, before we started on the stream, he's like, dude, can you believe, like, we went into the hate party, you went to the one, because we literally had the strategy. We were like, okay, go to the opposite sides of the dance floor and the bar, and let's just converge at the middle and see who we meet. And literally the first person Matt meets is Mike.
Meant to be.
He doesn't really stand out in the crowd with the scorpion tattoo on his face. I don't know. At least he didn't come up to you on the bathroom while you were shaking out.
That's true. That's true.
I met you and I met the NYPD. Yeah.
Nice.
Listen, we actually talked about that and why we're so excited about our dev team and the actual Web3 kids is because we didn't want to be the old heads like Steve Buscemi, like, hello, fellow kids, and Web3. Like, we didn't want to be like that. But we know what we don't know.
Right.
And we know that there are these young, hotshot kids that are hungry. They're excited. They grew up in this world, but they didn't grow up in our world of building businesses like this. So again, if I can talk to Luke, who's over here. What's up, y'all? How you guys
What's
doing?
up, man? Nice to meet you.
Young gunner, marketing, rising marketing star. So again, if we can get these young hustlers that are super talented and use what we've known, all of our failures, all of our successes, all of our lumps and losses and our ultimate successes, we can help guide these Web3 kids. We have, like you said, the Ultrazord. We have something that, again, individually, we wouldn't be able to do this. Mike wouldn't be able to do this. I wouldn't be able to do this.
Right.
Luke wouldn't be able to do this. Don wouldn't be able to do it. But together, the collective, the community, is incredible. And if you're going to build a community, if you're expecting other people to join your community, you better have a tight knit community in your own home.
Right.
Or you're just, again, it's a gold rush. You're going to not be able to deliver on your promises, and it's going to be a rug, whether you mean it to be or not.
Right.
Like maliciously or not. It's just, you won't have the execution, the business wherewithal to do it.
Yeah. No, and it's so good that it's funny. Like, I feel like you were in the conversation that Maddie and I have multiple times, because I think we're all, we're aptly named midlife crisis because we're 42. So, we've gone.
You guys look great.
No, thanks, man.
Look great.
We went through our shit too, and that's how we kind of came together. But same exact thing, right? We have a lot of people helping us out that are way younger. I literally got off this morning with a 16-year-old kid from France this morning that is going to start helping me on video work. And he intentionally took a hiatus from not going to college, already accepted to college, because he understands the power of Web3. Like, yeah, man, come on our team, help us out, man. Because his perception of the internet and stuff is just so drastically, I mean, we're with you guys, right? Like, when we grew up, we didn't even have a cell phone. I think we're in a really unique space because our age range, we lived that pretty cool life, which I think is totally gone, which sucks for some people because as a kid there was a lot of play, but we understand the digital world too. So I think we have a unique skill set in that, but we need the kids, right? We need them.
100%. We all got to play in the sandbox together.
Yeah, dude, I love it. Where mindsets are just couldn't be more aligned. Hence why I think, like I remember Maddie. Once we walked across the floor, Maddie immediately came up to me. He's like, "Bro, you got to meet this guy, Mike." And sure enough, immediately we all hit it off. So, and here we are.
Yeah,
Apparently, Mike said this though. Mike said apparently I got so drunk and drunk texted him all night. I just don't remember that.
And I live right next door to where the hate party was.
See,
right?
I didn't know that.
Yes, you were just like, "Yo, can I come over?" I was like, man, it's a little late right now. You know,
you hit him with
it's getting juicy. Getting juicy.
Dude. We'll do it. We'll do a YouTube video short specifically on that whole scenario at a later date and time.
It's gonna be fantastic.
Oh,
that was a good time. And shout out to Brett from Mutant Shiba Club too. I met him there. He was awesome. Love those guys and that crew.
He's coming on next week, actually.
Awesome. Yeah, great guy, and an amazing company that he built. So it was awesome to meet him at that party. It was a cool party. Yeah, we met Digi and.
Did you get to meet Trap Monkey?
Don't think so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's another guy that came on. And that's Maddie and I were saying the power of this is what I love that we are able to do is we met you as a person, right? You're on our show as a person. I mean, dude, we went to the hate party. Digi came up to us immediately because he knows who we are, right? But think about how many people were there drinking his booze at his party. No clue who he was, right?
Exactly.
So building these types of connections as we all grow in the Web3 space, I mean, we're pioneers, man, and it's really cool to be a part of that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, listen, I don't really go anywhere to like party.
Right.
I go to places to meet cool people and have, fun,
100%.
Good conversations, but also intellectual conversations too. I mean, I never really was a big partier, and that's when I met you guys. I just gravitated and we just clicked because it was just like we just started vibing on stuff, and even Brett too. It's just like, it was funny. He had his girlfriend's mother there too. His girlfriend wasn't even there, so he was taking his girlfriend's mother around. She's like, "What is this NFT stuff?" It was awesome.
About?
She was sweet.
Maddie and I were saying the same thing. Like, missing. Bro, I went to NFT NYC to meet people like you. I am not excited to be having my ears bleed till 3 a.m, half drinking. I mean, I saw Fat Joe sing a couple songs, kind of cool, but at the end of the day, I just want to have a couple. I want to meet people and build empires together. Yeah. That's what we were there for.
You know what the weird thing about
lost a lot of weight.
All the parties. The weird thing about it was like a lot of the people there didn't even know where they were. They were just like drink at some of these parties. Like people like, I don't even know what this thing is.
Yeah.
Right.
And to me, it's like
that's the whole space, though.
Yeah, like to me, you go to a place to learn community. I mean, there was definitely people there that like were appreciating the community and just celebrating it. So they're just getting loose, and that's great.
Sure.
There's no problem with that, right? But then there's also like you go to these places and it's like, you want a community build. That's the part of this NFT world. It's like you want to meet cool people, you want to like connect. Yeah. And you want to have conversations like this. I mean, look at us. We met at a party at the bar, and now we're on this on your podcast. So it's so that's great, and that's exactly I couldn't have thought about this. So we're really excited and honored.
I think that does. I do. Now I will say there are exceptions, right? Bell curve. There's always people at both ends, and we've met some of those exceptions of people who are 22, 23, 24, and they think like they have twice their age, right? But I will say age does come into a factor. I mean, Mike and I were not going to be at NFT NYC for the party. There was just no sense. You know what I mean? If we're going to spend money, we're going to do this, we're going to go. We're going because we're building the business, and that's what it's about. We got a brand to build. We got people to meet because we knew there were going to be these opportunities, these conversations. And that was a big focus for us every single day. Where is the best place for us to be right now to spend our time so we can maximize why we're here? And that was a constant mantra as we were walking around, like which place to go. Because then, your phone starts blowing up. There's this party going on, this spot going off, and it's like, okay, which one of these are we going to meet people like you guys? And that's really what it came down to. And I think we may have went a little hard, probably getting COVID like day 2, and then I thought it was just we were getting old, but no, apparently it was something.
Dude, Matt, listen, I sat at a desk and drank craft beer for 15 plus years. So I played tennis in college. My body has definitely gotten a lot softer. Matt still has 8-pack abs in incredible shape, does personal training. And even him at the end of the week was like, bro, my kneecaps are going to fly off my legs. I am broken.
Yeah, that was a rough week. It was fun, but
it was fun, but it was rough for sure.
Don't take it too personally.
Yeah.
Time is undefeated. So.
Right. Time is undefeated.
Time is undefeated. Flawless victory. Always.
I love that, man. Dude, it's so nice meeting you. You said there was another person in the team there. Do we want to talk to him too?
Yeah. So Luke is our community manager, and he does all the Twitter Spaces and IG Lives with us, and he's here out in LA. We actually just did a Rumble boxing class together, and we're all here at my place.
Oh, nice.
Sweaty from it.
Oh, nice.
Was
that your first Rumble boxing experience?
Yes, it was. And not gonna lie, I've been practicing, my weight lifts and stuff like that for the last couple of months. I walked in there, I was having a previous conversation with Noah. I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm ready for some cardio." He said, "Son, that is not cardio. That is conditioning." And I was like, yeah, whatever. I walked out of there. It was conditioning.
Yeah.
I can tell you either went to a Rumble boxing or you got sunburn. I couldn't tell which one it was.
A little bit of both.
Okay, got it.
A little bit of blushing too.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, how you met the guys, and how you got into Web3 yourself.
Totally. So, I grew up out here in LA, born and raised. I used to be a competitive golfer, hated that. And then from there, took those strengths and those lessons and I put them into something else that I love, which was music. I started working for Atlantic Records when I was about 17. Did a lot of internships with them specifically. I stuck with them so long that they're like, okay, you have no other place to be, so we'll go ahead and put you on the hiring book. Did that, got to learn a lot. From there, I started working as a personal assistant for an independent record label and did that for about a year, working with the likes of Trippie Redd and being around all these huge artists, whether that was Yeat or Young Ko or all these, people that had a tap on music culture in LA. And it was really cool being around in the studio. And from there, I learned a lot of marketing lessons while I was going to school over at CSUN, so Cal State University in Northridge.
Okay.
And from there, I realized that I wanted to be able to help build communities in a different way that was more impactful, that wasn't, buying followers, buying likes, buying comments, paying for verification, but instead building something that was organic and something that felt real and authentic.
Yep.
And so from there, I went ahead and I created my own marketing company, which I have right now. And, I just fell in love with Web3. I fell in love with NFTs, with crypto, started, my first ever introduction was to crypto.com back in 2021. I invested at 10 cents and then all of a sudden it skyrocketed to 96 cents. And I thought that this was pretty cool,
Right.
And at the age of 21, I was like, okay, I think I can, find my way in this space. And now I've really fallen in love with NFTs, the technology behind it, just the innovation and creativity that you get to have within this space is something that I adore and that I wake up every day happy to go to work because it doesn't even feel like work because I get to innovate, I get to create, I get to meet really cool people such as yourself and such as these guys surrounded by me.
Yep.
And from now, I get the chance to get into the mud. I get to create communities from the ground up through Twitter, through spaces, through lives, through giveaways, and just trying to understand it all. And I don't know it all, but, I'm trying to give it my best shot. And it's been fun so far. So this project I totally believe in.
And it's something where we just have a really great product. We have a really great brand. We got a great team, and we all believe in it. And it's something that we're just excited to use and go into the future. And so, yeah, that's a little bit about me. But it's a pleasure being on here with you guys.
Amazing.
Absolutely,
thanks,
man. Maddie, you got any thoughts?
We got to get him some more tattoos, though.
Yeah, definitely.
Luke is great. Luke is great, but his virginal skin is not going to fucking cut it over.
Yeah.
I might do it right now. Give me a big pen. We'll go prison style.
I love it.
Jeez.
Just
Use
use the chain,
necklace.
you know?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Indelible tattoo across your chest.
There, exactly.
Dude, I don't know. You guys might force me to get a tattoo too. Who the hell knows?
Yes, we gotta get him.
You don't have it?
We gotta get him.
Nah, man. Nah,
This is your sign. This is your omen. There you go.
Dude,
That's
it was fate at hate, bro.
We all
Maybe
have
that
our
should be your
You
tattoo.
know, like I always say with Indelible, it's like, you know how a lot of, discovery IDs, like a lot of crime shows, a huge like female audience that watches it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to be a fan. You don't need to be a murderer to be a fan of murder shows. So you don't need to be. You don't have to have a tattoo on you to, be a fan of our project.
Yeah.
You just gotta appreciate the culture.
Yeah.
Like motorcycle culture and all these different cool subcultures that are involved.
Right.
Mob movies and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm Italian, but I'm not a wise guy.
Yeah.
But I love movies. But you just gotta appreciate the culture. You know what I mean? And we like to be the ambassadors of it for Web3.
Yeah.
So that's what we're here for.
So
Luke is an amazing team member, and I'm cool with his pale naked skin. It's all good, man.
No, but I think back to what we were
cover up. As they get older, I got to cover up more so I look better.
Right. So I think what we talked about though is cool meeting Luke, because it's nice to have that perspective, right? I talk about this a lot. I did, like I told you, I did brand my entire career, 20 plus years, and brand and marketing. And so tell Luke if he ever has any questions about brand. And Luke, you ever got brand marketing questions, bro? I ran billion-dollar budgets, so you just hit me
Geico,
up.
Geico.
Yeah, feel free to. I've done it for a long time. So if you have any questions, I'm here to help you, man.
Please, I'm all ears. Like what we were discussing earlier, it's like while you guys were on the podcast, we were just talking about different books, to read. Like, Find the Why, or what is that?
Start with why.
Start with Why.
Start with Why. Yeah.
And all these other books that
Cool. Shout out to Noah Carter.
Exactly. It's something where I'm just trying to be a sponge. I think that's one of the best things to be in this space and any space to go into, because at the end of the day, like you said, we are pioneers and we are innovators, and we're going to all have to learn, and we have to innovate while we learn, which is pretty cool. And so thank you for that. I will definitely take you up on that, and would love to have a separate conversation in the future.
Absolutely. And so some real, couple minute quick, thought about it, Web 2. So I call it brand 3.0 is one of the biggest things that's happening too, right? And that's the evolution of how do you deal with a brand in a Web 3 space. And I come from traditional marketing, right? And traditional marketing actually sucks. All it is geography, what medium to spend the right money on and get the best click-through rate and get your metrics as small as possible. But these metrics are all bullshit because they're created by the media companies. What's cool about brand 3.0 and web 3.0, which is happening, is you're now able to build a brand like Indelible around fanatics of your industry, and different tactics are way more successful in this. Podcasts, AMAs, creating Discord, community is the number one thing in this version of marketing. There are very few companies in Web 2 that achieved it. The biggest, probably most notable one is Red Bull, right? Red Bull built a lifestyle around a energy drink that brought passionate people together on extreme sports, and they use their product as a catalyst, where in Web 3, your product is your marketing and your catalyst. So you don't have to rack your brain on how can I make up some bullshit message to attract people that I want to use my product. Your product is primed and ready to go. All you have to do is build community. So it's a really, really cool opportunity. And you know, when I found NFTs and going through, you know, I went to design school too, and going through my career, when I found NFTs, I was like, holy shit, this is like design, marketing, and the future all wrapped up into one. I'm like, this is what I'm doing for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I think that this was spawned out of necessity. I think people are sick of being manipulated and sold to.
Oh,
they want to feel like they're,
100%.
again, like you said, like they're a part of something.
Yep.
So that the brands that they're investing in are investing back in them. And
Yep.
you can literally do that with the technology in Web3. I
Yep.
mean, you know, you're going to see people investing in script writers that they love and bricks and mortar business owners that they love and be able to track their ownership on the blockchain. Like, there's going to be some really great innovation that comes. But again, people don't want, I don't think, you talk about Red Bull, like, you know, gives you wings. I don't think that campaign, if it launches now in the current climate, has the same traction as it did in the, you know, early 2000s. People were like, oh, sell me, product, buy. Oh my God, this is cool. People are like, no, I don't want you. I get it. I understand marketing now. I understand that this is all a gimmick to get me to purchase something. Whereas Web3 is coming in and saying, listen, if you fuck with us. This is what we're about. This is what we stand for. This is our product. This is our service. This is how we can help you. This is how you can help us. And we're here for you.
Right.
If not, there's another company for that. So,
absolutely.
I think it's just a natural evolution of industry now.
Yeah, no, dude, I love it, and we're thinking the same way.
That's the thing. It's like you said, 100%. It's going to take all of us coming together to legitimize the space. Like, my favorite African proverb in business is, if you want to go fast, go alone. So you're seeing, and I'll finish that in a second. That's at the end of it. You want to go fast, go alone. And so you're seeing a lot of people with these fast cash grabs that are doing it by themselves, and then they're disappearing into the wind, pretty much with everybody else's money. So they're doing okay. But if you want to go far, go together. So if you want to legitimize this industry, if you want to actually make it something lasting, you have to do it together. It has to be a cohesive unit between, especially now, which is, again, why we're so excited to work with, you know, these different blue chip brands.
Right.
Because again, this is a brave new world. This is us, Danger Will Robinson.
Yeah.
You kind of all work together on the team.
It's a world that doesn't suffer fools, right? Web3 will spit people out very quickly, and it spits out bad products very quickly, right? So Web2, it's funny you mentioned Red Bull, right? We can all categorically say, we all know Red Bull's not very good for you. But back in the day, man, if you had the money, if you had the investments, you had the backing, you could just push anything out to a populace and they would suck it up. And like you said, some good marketing behind it, funny commercials. All of a sudden, everybody's drinking Red Bull because they want to be in the X Games. And it's like, that was real then, but it didn't make the product healthy, good, or really viable. It just was good marketing, and it was funneled with enough dollars that they pounded it into our psyche. Now, you know, there's an energy drink somewhere that's not Red Bull, right? That's able to get into the market that people can be exposed to. Same thing in music industry, right? You know, the idea that like you had to go through these crazy filters to get your name known, whereas now anybody could potentially, any copywriter, any video editor. I mean, like Mike's talking about the 16-year-old, you know, from France, and it's like, who knows? He could be the next best thing in digital media, you know, editing production, right? We don't know, but what chance would that person have back in the day? And I just think that's a really cool thing, because yes, it's cutthroat, but it's also completely open. And so it's really anybody's game. And I think that's a special kind of factor that brings Web3 to the forefront of what we're doing.
100%, man. You know, the one thing for me, you know, I spent my career pitching creative to gatekeepers, you know, and the gatekeepers, I would sit in a room and they would say, that's not a good show. And I would be like, man, I wouldn't even let you hold the remote to my television at my house.
Hey, man, I was the gatekeeper, brah.
So,
I was the gatekeeper.
So for me, you know, doing this project, I was like, wow, we have an opportunity. It's direct to consumer. You tell me if it's good or not. The community. Yes. Is this good or not? You know what I mean? We live and die by what we do. We do. And I've seen stuff. I go back in my development projects and I'm like, wow, that could have been cool. Who knows? You know what I mean? If this gatekeeper just got the hell out of the way. So NFT culture, I mean, that's the thing when I hear, you know, younger people, I mean, there's a lot of competition now, but there's a lot of opportunity, you know, and I think that, you know, you can do anything you want to at this point. Just all you need is a computer, and sky's the limit.
Yeah. And I would say in the NFT space specifically, like we're talking about, there's there's a lot of competition and really no hope for which we're already in the last gen of NFTs, which was 4 months ago when you're just trying to make a PFP project to make money. There is a ton of opportunity in the future for projects like yourself that are bringing the best of the best together to build a company through an NFT. That is where the opportunity lies in the future, and I think people are still just caught up in NFTs are a way to flip and make a quick buck, but it's just so much more than that. And then I would say, back to what we were saying about community is we will help you as much as we can to build community. And we are talking about the Web3 community as a whole. And I know you know this, but just reiterating on the fact that like your Indelible community is of utmost importance. 80% of NFTs is community and nothing else. I would say that yes, tattoo culture is amazing. The artwork's going to be amazing.
Of course.
But if you do not have that 80% community aligned, understanding your vision and excited about what you're doing, you got nothing. So
100%. Yeah, definitely. The unfortunate thing is if I took my own advice, I wouldn't be working on this company right now, because usually you should be second at the gate. It's good to be the pioneer, but in business, the successful ones are the second ones.
Right.
Because if I go through my track record of like watching different industries, like the music business, the television business, production companies selling, the first production companies were valued at a certain amount, and it was hype, but then the second buyers came in and they got that fear of missing out, going valuation shot up through the roof because the second people came in the game, and it's the third ones that get bit.
So wait a second. I'm gonna argue with you a little bit. I'd say Bored Ape is the first of the game. So you are coming second.
I would agree with that.
And I promise you, there's been 100 or 200 tattoo projects that have sucked and already failed. So you're coming behind Bored Ape, and you're gonna make the first real tattoo project. So I think you're in. With the way that you're building a company as an NFT as a company, you are in a way better scenario now than you would be because let's be honest, Bored Ape was just lightning in a bottle. They had right connections. They did some good things on the back end. But Bored Ape versus Cyberpunk, it's kind of like a roll of the dice. We're starting to enter an NFT era. You have obviously businesses and income to get through this winter, and I guarantee all of the companies that are NFTs that are going to be successful once we get out of this are people just like yourselves. So I think you're in a great place, man.
We're here to stay. We have a long runway to go. Right. So we're. I'm listen. To be honest with you, I have a successful company, and it's like. I need this like a hole in the head. I just created like a really, I'm on this all day long. This is like 99% of my day. But
right.
I love it. I love it so much that like this is what gives me my life.
Yeah.
That's how it was built. So yeah. I hope everything you're saying is true. But I'll tell you one thing. If we we go down a road, and if we need to make a pivot, we're going to decide on we just keep pivoting. Until we reach our finish line, and then keep going from there, because the goalpost keeps moving. So. We're in it for the process, not for the end result. We love the whole every aspect of the building process of this company.
For sure.
Absolutely.
You can't go anywhere now. You've given out every home address.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Security.
But no, you have a team though that if you're talking about how to pivot,
you took doxing to a new level.
If you're talking about how to recognize,
What's that, man?
The bottom line is you guys have enough experience that you can recognize those things, right? And that's the other big thing. A project with a bunch of people who this is their first real venture into a business, they don't know what to look for. They don't know the signs. They wouldn't know when to sell if it was even appropriate to sell. You know what I mean? You guys have experience, and that goes a really, really long way, because, like you said, recognizing, we need to change pace here, or we need to be able to do a course correction here. A lot of people will sit there and like, no, fear of change. I have to keep doing this, or it becomes an ego or a pride thing, which there's not a lot of room for that at the top. I think you guys are in a position to be able to be equipped just fine to be able to make the moves that need to happen.
Well, that didn't happen overnight. I mean, to be honest with you, I made a lot of mistakes personally.
Of course.
In the careers, and I use the analogy of, like, you know, a lot of people won't know this reference, but I don't know if everybody remembers the plane that landed in the Hudson River and Sully Sullivan was the pilot.
Yeah.
You know, he was so calm because he was so seasoned. You know, he's been there before, and I can imagine our NFT community on the plane as passengers, and we're the pilot, and we got to make a decision. Let's land it in the Hudson. Let's get on another plane, and everybody survived. Right. So that's how I look at business. I'm like, I've learned to be calm. I used to have a lot of anxiety about challenges in the business, and now it's like problem solving. I love the problem solving, and I'm on top of the problem solving, but I'm emotionally calm about it, so I can make rational decisions, and that's the most important thing. And that's what comes from experience. You know, not to say that young people don't know that, because some of them do. Some of them just get it right away. I didn't know this.
Yeah, we didn't either.
That's something I really learned off experience of running both of my companies for the last 20 years. So yes, so I appreciate that. And I just wanted to, you know, add that to, like, the fact that it didn't come natural. Believe me, I'm not perfect in any way.
Yeah, Matt. I mean, Matt. That's again why Maddie and I got back together, is because we went through some demons, and, you know, had the realization of what we really wanted to do. And I love how you talk about pivoting as well, because the same thing. Like, over 2 years ago, we were streaming video games. Man, I didn't even know what an NFT was, right? And once I got into the NFTs, I would say, like, a less experienced conversation with a business partner and buddy would be like, when I went to Matt and I said, hey, listen, man, like, this NFT thing, I think it's going to pop off. I think it's an opportunity. And, you know, maybe less experienced people would be like, absolutely not. You told me we were streaming video games. This is what we should be doing, and totally shut down the idea and the opportunity and not pivot. But the conversation was as simple as, yeah, man, that sounds good. This makes sense to me. Let's give it a try. And sure enough, a week later, we went from 150 followers to like 1,500, right? And we were just beating a dead horse at that point, trying to play video games and do something. And that power of pivoting and trying to figure out how to continue to thrive and create success is so important.
You know what the other thing that's really important about pivoting is, like, it's like a Mr. Miyagi type of thing. Like, you got to know when to pivot and when to keep going. Mm-hmm. That's the key, because sometimes I see people pivot constantly too much, and they're not on their path. And sometimes you got to weather the storm and just get through it. And on the other end, you're like, wait, I was worried about that, and it actually worked. So that's like something that's not textbook, that you just learn from just, like, going into your inner gut, and then you gather your intel, and also you humble yourself. That's the thing. Yeah. It's like, no matter what the hell I do, I want to hear what everybody else is doing. Mm-hmm. You know, generally speaking, I never talked this much in my life, but I'm just promoting this company. I usually keep my mouth shut, and I want to listen. You know, and I just want to take in all the information personally. That's how I've grown my business, because I've just learned from problems. I ask people questions of what they experience, and I just make it into my own thing, you know. But yes, and that's great. It's great that you got to be amendable. Yep. You know, you can't be scared.
Mm-hmm. No, but I love that counter argument of pivoting. I mean, literally, it never got me. I have always had this kind of entrepreneurship, creative energy. I've had ask Maddie, million ideas for companies, right? To the point where they called me Yo-Yo Mike, because I would be like, bro, I want to start this. No, let's do this. And I never committed to anything, right? And then through experience and failure and other things, it made me realize, like, what makes sense to commit to and not. And fortunately, I didn't create something that I thought, because all of those past ideas before I came to my self-realizations were the money was the driver, right? And if money is your only driver, then you're in a world of hurt, right? And the driver for Maddie and I is to impact lives, to build a business with my best friend. Like, who doesn't want to build a business with your best buddy, right? And to be able to do that and impact lives and help create change, like that's all we can ask for.
Hey, money's the trophy in business, but if you don't love the game, you ain't winning the trophy. You got to love the whole. I mean, Kobe Bryant doesn't show off his rings all the time. You know, you got to it's all about, it's everything all in one. But the driver, 100% not. You gotta love what you do. If you don't love what you do, you ain't winning that trophy.
Right.
You gotta be so into what
Love
you do.
it.
So,
Dude,
Exactly.
Proverbs, wisdom. It's gonna be hard clipping this up, man. We're gonna have to. We're gonna be like, here's the condensed version of the stream. It's gonna be
just
2
cut
hours
my
and
part
38
out. Leave
minutes.
everybody else. Right time.
Nah, man, you're spouting wisdom.
Yeah.
Throwing
So
out facts. It's awesome.
So I'd love to do this. Take it back to the project because I know you don't have a lot of media out there, but I loved how you kind of explained your trailer that's up on Twitter. So if you could just talk about, like, you made some interesting comments about the tattoo artist that made your font. If you can just go through kind of like the concept or idea behind the creative in the trailer. And then once you do that, I'd love to play it for the community that's watching. Because it'll just give them that extra layer of context. Now, when they start going to your Twitter, they're going to be like, oh, bro, I understand this project because I heard Mike talk to me about it on Midlife.
Yeah. So we have three very world-renowned tattoo artists. One that does is one of the biggest Japanese-style tattoo artists. One that's one of the biggest black and gray realism artists, and one that does script writing. Has drawn tattoo drawings of 10 insects. Right? And that's what we're going to put on these NFTs. And the reason, and if you go to our Twitter, you'll see our branding teaser video. We actually put a funny disclaimer at the top of that because we dropped it right at the worst time in the bearish market. And I was like, how do we just drop a project now? Let's do what Jackass does before you watch the show. Do you really want to do these stunts? And we're like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
So the video, though, if you watch the video and you watch the branding, like I was saying before, it's all intentional. So that video is a tease to our reveal video. What Daniel was saying earlier, we're going to announce a blue chip NFT company that we're going to tattoo these insects on. And the video is this like white on white liquid effect. And we tease the ink colors. And the ink colors are almost like a little tease of what that community is. It's a little hint. So if you look at the teaser and you see the ink color, it's a inspiration of the NFT community that we're going to partner with.
I like a little riddle. A
little alpha there, peeps.
And we're going to have a reveal tease that's we're really excited to drop. It's that best piece of content that will show the community as we build the community, as we get people more familiarized with what we're doing,
right.
And then we're going to keep talking about it as we have to do, and then we'll drop that teaser, and
right.
We're going to sprint to mint.
Okay, cool. So let's watch this video now that we have this context. And then after that, I would love to talk about where we are now and what can we expect over the next couple months. Does that sound good?
Yep, sounds great.
Awesome. Here we go. I'm going to play it right now.
Warning. The following NFT drop is being performed by fully doxed professionals. Do not attempt to recreate any of the degen stunts you are about to see. If you try to drop an NFT project in this current market, we are not responsible for your financial harm.
So good. I'm lost on the colors. You got me thinking now. I have no freaking clue.
So I want to say something that I'll give you a little hint on the teaser the reveal video that we're going to drop. Every video, every reveal that we do for each drop is going to have the device of our next video that you will see down the road, which is going to be our PFP's that gun. There's a hand that's going to come in. I'm kind of telling you this, but you're going to be excited to see it. But the ink is going to be a device that we're going to fly into, and there's going to be imagery in there that's going to tell you what that drop is. And then when it drops, you'll see there's another reveal device that happens. So those three components are going to happen throughout our drop. So like I said, all this stuff is very intentional. And the more that we get the community familiarized with it, the more excited hopefully they get every time we do a different drop and we see these points of different videos that happen. It's not going to be the same video, but those moments will be identifiable when we start to reveal our drop.
Right. Dude, I totally got. So now I know there's like hidden meaning in there because I saw the colors and I was just thinking from a creative standpoint, that's awesome. Like that's great contrast and color because it's all white. But I immediately went, and I don't know if you did, Maddie. I was like, bro, this is Westworld, but like tattoos. I was like, I'm watching the intro to Westworld right now, bro. Like it's just that it's got that vibe.
Yeah, no, it's really good.
Cool, man. Thank you.
I'm excited. What I like is what you just said is there's a mystery to it, but then there's little Easter eggs. And that definitely has my attention. I know a lot of people are trying to figure it out.
Dude, people, the chat's popping off right now. They love how clean it is. And everybody's ready to give you the money already, man. You haven't even launched anything.
I mean, for us, it's like the content's like really important, because it's like, we're a brand,
Right.
I've seen so many NFT drops with the content is so like secondary, and the community is first, and to us, it's like community and content and brand and everything is
and
community is what brings in the money to build it. That's the trophy, right?
Right.
That's the Kobe Bryant trophy. But the game is how passionate you are and each win along the way and what we drop. So for me, it's like the more, economics we can bring into this company, the more crazy, wild stuff that we can do. You and I come from the same background with like content, I used to direct and produce, you know what I mean? So we have access to those high-end studios and 3D artists and stuff like that. We're not, just like a one-person operation.
Right.
So I'm just like personally seeing like how scalable we can make these videos be. I mean, down the road, they're only going to get more wild and more crazy. This is just the starting point of what we can do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's phenomenal. And I think what I'm really interested in is because just that video alone got people pretty hyped up.
Awesome.
Before I go forward, Maddie, do you have anything to respond to that? Or are you good?
What is the just a real quick kind of side question? What is the price point people should expect for this?
It's a good question. We're gonna make it sort of relatable to all the other drops. We're not gonna, I think that once we build our community and once we really see how big the community is and how big they are, we want to make sure that we're doing it, that they can afford it and everybody can kind of jump in and we can build together as a team. So we don't know exactly what that will be yet. And obviously we don't know what Ethereum will be at that time too.
Sure.
So that's difficult.
The reason I ask is because, because also you have the credit card option to purchase. So I imagine for layman's terms, people are going to see a dollar value, right? Because you don't want to say like
tied to Ethereum, right? Which will tie to the Ethereum price point.
Yeah, of course, because that's how it'll work. But the reason I was saying that is what do you think the average cost a person spends on a tattoo is across the board? And I'm not talking about like, the person that just goes in there and gets like, mom. I mean like people who are in that tattoo community. What's the average? What are they dropping if they want to go get another tattoo?
Oh, like somebody that's like really into tattoo culture. I mean, thousands. Yeah. I mean, I'll spend. I mean, I have a great relationship with the tattoo artist, so I'll drop easily 800 a session. That's a major discount.
Okay.
I'm talking that's probably a $2,000-$3,000 day sometimes for some of these artists.
Yeah.
Then,
okay. Because I feel like that's a cool way to almost kind of bridge that, is putting it in perspective. You know what I mean? Because it's like, listen, man, I've spent a lot of money on my tattoos, and it's kind of like, well, you're willing to do that for something that you're passionate about, and I think that's kind of a cool way in that community for people to hear, like, listen, this is going to cost what you would normally pay anyway for a tattoo, but here's what it's going to do. You know what I mean? And I think that's just it kind of got me thinking, because
that's a good point. Who does your art, by the way? I'm just curious. It looks like
it's
good work.
A buddy of mine named Brian that's local, and he just
give him a shout out, man.
Yeah, I will. It's called Stay Gold Tattoo, so awesome. I'll let him know.
Respect, man. It looks good. I remember seeing it in person. It was good work. So
thanks, man.
Props to him. Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. So, and honestly, Matt, great point, because it's interesting how there's just these arbitrary values attached to Pete, what the heck just happened? I froze. Hold, please.
Just you, though. I think we're okay.
Yeah, we see you.
I don't know what happened.
Oh, just Mike's it just Mike froze.
You can hear me though, right? I don't know what the hell happened. I just might be frozen here for a little bit.
All right, man. Keep going, man.
But what I was gonna say is Matt brings up a really good point, and I think it's something you all should think about. Is you actually have a reason to say this is why we're pricing it at what it is. And then the other thing that I'd like to just like bring up to you, and where I think the narrative for me has gone for companies or NFT companies like yourself that have real world expertise in other businesses and incomes, is the instant sellout and hype really matters for a project that is trying to generate revenue to keep an NFT project alive. For you, you have the luxury of having company funding and a team that is professionals. So I would not get caught up too much in the we need to sell this out instantly. I would get very caught up in, like you said, and I think this is going to be the most powerful thing you can do, which is using that creative and creating stories, man. I mean, you're looking at Goblin Town that created a $30 million cap based off of a simple website, but they said what they were about and they created mystery and intrigue, right? Like that is power not utilized enough in this space. And I think you have a massive opportunity because you're going to be supplying an interesting product that has utility, but you can build story.
That's great advice.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
I mean, I think it's huge, man. You have huge opportunity, dude.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's building that solid foundation of community, right? That's the key.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, but the story, I think I'm getting more into the point, like the community, but
right,
the story, right? Because your typical NFT projects that you're going to see that are trying to create hype, is it just going to be like, if I see another tweet, that the first tweet is, and I apologize if you did this, but I'm still going to say it. If your first tweet is, you're here early, or, look at us, this is early, I'm going to freaking puke. Right. It's like, that is the most generic, that's the most generic thing that you can write. And then it's literally a formula. You're here early, interact with this tweet. We'll give you OG, blah, blah, blah. Bunch of whitelist giveaway, bunch of OG giveaway. Come visit our Discord, and then just rehashing of bullshit whitelist giveaway. Right. You have already done it more than a lot of people, is built that trailer with meaning behind it.
Yeah.
So just continue to do that. And the more you can incorporate video, which I know you can, is fire, but it's easy to, I think, and you've probably come to this realization, but I actually, turning, cause like we said, hundreds of thousands of dollars that we were spending on 30-second videos, right? So I come from that, like, everything needs to be polished, highly produced. And now we're in this NFT world with, like, yes, your NFT and artwork needs to be top notch, but you can easily build a story with a GIF or a JPEG, right? So you have so much opportunity, and Maddie and I have, and it's really more me, has taken time where I'm like, we just don't have the power right now, the editing power right now to finally polish all of our YouTube videos. So, but we're cutting them together and getting the content out, and that's important, right?
Yeah.
Well, and it's so quick to also, I mean, think about that trailer, but just an explanation of, can you tell who we're partnering with based on the ink? And just something like that.
One person got it, actually. One person nailed it.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, but my point though, it's like that kind of stuff where it creates, and that doesn't even mean you answer. In fact, the mystery is the best marketing, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like people want to know what the answer is going to be, so they'll follow to figure it out. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then it's like, okay, when you do reveal, what's the next Easter egg? What's the next secret? That kind of stuff, man. That's how you build big time, momentum.
Right,
so
right.
anyway,
right.
I think what I'm saying is it's all there. and
Yep.
and it's ready to go, which is cool.
Right.
Yeah, now it's just execution mode.
So with all that being said, how about you? Go ahead.
Happy you guys got it. It's great.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Maddie and I say this a lot, but we love what we do because, I mean, you're in tattoos, you're totally in on your ink NFT project, but I love that we're totally in on Web3 as a whole, and we get to talk to so many different people. And I like that that's our business, right? Our business is talking to people and understanding this space and what's successful and what's not, opposed to like us having a midlife crisis NFT, which we could do in addition to everything that we're doing, right? But we really enjoy it. And it's so cool that every time the same question, every time we talk to a new person, just creates such drastically different narratives. It's really, really cool.
Very cool.
So with that being said, man, kind of take us through the next month or two as much as you can
Sure.
reveal, because I know you don't want to reveal it all, because the other thing that I like to say to people, and I don't know if I said to this at the hate party, I probably didn't because I was drunk texting you. I didn't remember that. But when I talk to multiple people every day that are trying to collaborate with us or come on the show, and I give them this very simple narrative. If you want 10,000 empty followers, go somewhere else. But if you want a couple hundred people that will consider buying your project, we've literally had streams where people were buying NFTs in real time, and it blew the founders away. Like, that's what midlife crisis is here for.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I can already tell in this chat that people are excited.
Listen, I don't care if one person's listening, man. I like you guys, and if that one person likes what we're doing, it's a win for me, man. It's like I love talking about this company because I'm passionate about it. So for me, it's like, and also I love to meet you guys now and see where we both go down the road. I'd love to next year and be like, remember last year when we did that? Yeah, 200.
Yep.
It's gonna be so tight.
Oh, it's just the beginning. That is for sure. Mike and I have been chatting a lot, and we've been doing this for over just NFTs about a year now, or coming up on right at that. But we've been streaming for a long time. But this is just the beginning, and we're about to move into phase 2. It's gonna be real fun, man. I can't wait to revisit these things.
Definitely
make moves, because at the end of the day, we're a media company. That's what we want to do. We want to produce content and reach people.
Right.
And it's these conversations that are part of that, right? And this is the hate party, but we're doing it in work, right? We're networking now and building these relationships with founders, projects, and the best part is as we accumulate all those, if you shoot us a message, something, hey, here's what's going on, there's somebody we probably know that we can at least connect you with. And it's just like that's powerful as you go through the space, knowing more and more and more and more people like that. It's not just us, right? You guys have plenty of other friends, but it's one more sphere that connects.
Yeah, man.
That's huge.
I appreciate it. And for us, it just has to naturally fit, right? Like, we're not trying to force anything. If we feel like it's going to be advantageous for both parties, in my whole life, I had to add value to what I do, right? So as long as we're adding value, vice versa, it's great. And I'm happy that you guys really understand the project now, talking through it. So now you're more familiarized with it, So thank you for giving us this platform to speak about it.
Absolutely. So let's do that, man. Next 2 months, the people that are saying in chat, take my money, what can you share with them, and what can they expect?
I mean, they're definitely, we're really working hard and tying, you're going to get a utility, which is the chain, obviously. But we're working hard at doing a brand collaboration before drop. It is a little bit of a chicken and egg scenario of like getting that momentum going and showing them it's been proven, because especially the brands that we're talking to are very relevant and respected. And that's going to happen down the road. It's just a matter of how soon does it happen. But we also have a potential, another blue chip company that's going to drop a surprise small collection within our Genesis drop. So there's that too. That could be another Easter egg scenario. So we have this, and the content that we're going to create. I'm actually I haven't fully confirmed if I'm booking it, but I'm pretty much 99% there. August 2nd, will be in North Carolina getting my face tattooed more. And one of the artists is a part of the drop. So we're going to do an IG live while my face is getting tattooed and talking about the project, which should be pretty fun. Watch me ruin my life as we try to build this company. No. But, just to show people, listen, I'm all in everything that I do. I throw all the chips in because I believe in, it's like I'm not a reckless gambler. I'm a, passionate, gambler that's strategic. And so I just, to me, it's what I do. I would do regardless. I'm not doing it for a gimmick. But we have the roadmap leading up to minting, which we're looking to do end of August, beginning of September area. And then we have a really cool website that I'm super excited about. Wait till you see how we're going to piece that together. Right now, the landing page has like the logo comes out of the liquid, and you can kind of tattoo it with a little tattoo, our PFP. It's something that we kind of put up there, but like the full site that we launched is going to be pretty incredible. I'm super excited to share that.
And when can we
give it away? But it's like another nugget that we're really excited about.
Right. Okay. It's super cool. So is there any time frame there? You don't have any, you can't speak to that quite yet.
No, we're on a sort of press run just to get the word out there, like we did all these, just trying to build community. And then we're going to, we want to drop it at the right time because it's going to help everybody out.
Right.
And I think part of being an entrepreneur is sometimes saying you don't know. Right. Because if you say, I'm going to do it this date and then it's not right, I just lie to everybody. Right. So we have a targeted date. It's planned. We're tactical about it, but that may move. So I'm not ready to announce it yet. But it will be soon.
Understandable.
For all the people that want to buy it, hold your money.
And so we know, just so you know, I mean, it seems like you're talking to some pretty big projects, which is great, but, never hesitate to reach out to us and we can link 100%. You up. We can link you up with our contacts as well, too.
Appreciate that.
Because these are the right. I already got a couple people I want to introduce you to.
Awesome. That'd be great.
Sweet, dude. Cool, man. So, man, we are at 2.5 hours. Did that feel like 2.5 hours?
I didn't think I could. I didn't think I can talk for 2.5 hours. Awesome. You guys are very easy to talk to.
Thanks, man. So I kind of want to give the thought here is, Maddie, do any questions that we didn't answer through our conversation come up? I wasn't able to look at the chat.
Hold up. Let me check.
I think I saw a couple questions there.
Well, this is just a question for you directly, Mike. How much money have you spent on tattoos in general? I think just like
no, man.
He can't give you that number.
I the math. I sat for like 70 hours on my back alone, and it's like it was like 400 something per hour. I mean, I'm in the hundreds of thousands. I don't know how many. And I keep going.
That's awesome.
But you know what? It's the awesome. One thing I can take with me to the grave. I can't take my bank account, but I'll take these things with me.
Oh, hell you can.
Yeah.
And maybe I can sell them in the afterlife,
You never know, man. There's definitely probably going to be insects where you are, though. And I'm telling you that much. So you heard it here, folks. Who better to run an NFT tattoo project that is a Grammy Award winner, multiple business owner. Emmy Award winner, multiple business owner, and has spent hundreds of thousands of dollars of tattoos on his own body. That's impressive, man. That's impressive. Props to you.
Thank you.
And I haven't been, so I went to your website, by the way, and I just don't think I put two and two together about the, how you can tat the logo. I'm literally just totally tranced to doing this right now. I love how
I know it's kind of fun, right?
I love how you paint it up, and then after you paint it up, it like slowly washes away.
Let's see the insect tattoos on it.
Yeah, dude, it's just so dope. It's awesome.
I mean, that's just a very, very sort of small.
Oh, of course. To
drop on a full website.
Yeah. But the functionality is cool. So
just the concept. It's a concept. Once we drop the full,
super cool, man. Maddie, any other questions?
I just looked through. We got them. I mean, well, okay. I want to answer this again in case somebody came in late because this was kind of early. can somebody use their own tattoo? Because I know you were talking about the insects, but let's just say, my whatever. If I want to use one of the angels on this tattoo, can I use that through this and have that on?
That's part of
NFTs?
our metaverse roadmap.
Okay.
So definitely down the road, not for for these future drops, we're going to take the artist inspired tattoos, and it's going to be tied into the story with the with all those nuggets of like egg drops of like trying to get people to figure out what it is. But not
totally makes sense.
Right.
You're going after the artist because they're the artists. I totally get it. And the other thing is like, you never know what somebody's going to want to like, who's going to do that art of, it's like you're just kind of copy pasting from something I guess they already have. I don't know. I guess that could get dicey too. So I'm sure there'll be logistical things you'll have to figure out. But no, I think that's for the Genesis. I think that
it's
makes
all
a lot
going
of
to be
sense.
part of the story. Like like the insects are part of the story. With it's like getting tattooed it's actually coming together of two stories, right? It's the artist and how they interpret the story. It's the person that actually wants the story on their body because that's the story they told the artist. So that's going to be part of our drops. There's a lot of like little messaging that's going to happen along the way. So it's not going to be an individual thing, at least currently. But like I said, in the metaverse, we're gonna have that ability to do that. Which would be awesome.
No, that's cool. And so, do you have any of your Discord? any of your roadmap up in your Discord right now?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. Yeah,
but
not yet.
Highly urged.
We're very, very early, very new, but we're running it.
Yep.
All TBD coming soon.
And this is what's cool. I actually like this because we've been around long enough. Like on Tuesday, we had a guy on that had been on 3 months ago, right? And we were able to catch up, and it was still really cool. He was like, "There's no way we can talk over 2 hours again." And sure as shit, bro, we talked for over 2 hours, no problem. And so we're getting into that. I'm actually really excited because a lot of times we'll have projects come on like a week or two before mint, but you all are so super early still, and our community is really early. So we better get those midlife peeps in the Discord saying midlife fan here and representing the whole while, because it's on top. But on top of that, man, it's very hard, especially nowadays in the shitty market. But even if the market wasn't shitty, being early to a project that actually has big ambitions. So it's literally, you're doing us a service is what I'm getting at, is you're giving our community some kind of quote unquote alpha and access to a project that really hasn't marketed yet. You have done on traditional forefronts, but as the Web3 community understands this project, they're going to be able to be in there from the beginning. So we appreciate it, dude.
100%, vice versa, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I thank you for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and
I got one more question from the community.
Sure.
In the future, will there be any utility that includes something in terms of like maybe a free tattoo, a discounted tattoo? Maybe, I mean, you guys are working with really good artists.
Yes.
Really good artists usually have pretty long wait times. Is there anything that having one of your NFTs that's associated with one of these artists going to be able to get people with maybe those artists for actual in real life tattoos?
I have
they would
friends in the business that are like really seasoned artists, and I can't get time in the chair with them. So yes, we're going to have that for that reason alone. I may buy an NFT before anybody else just to get that tattoo.
There you go.
No, but I'm saying we will offer that for sure, because there will be some people that are going to want that access.
Right.
That just gave me this crazy idea. I keep thinking about new ways that NFTs can introduce the concept of rarity, right? Because before, all gold or, diamond, or laser eyes coming out. But it's like, what do you do for for rarity for things that have in real life utility? And what's cool? Even if you just take those 3 artists you just talked about at launch, and all of them are willing to donate, I don't even know, 2 hours of their time. That's it. Just 1 2-hour session. If you if you get that NFT that has that, like that is rarity, right? That's valuable. And what's cool is like if I got that, let me say this, if Mike got that, right, with no tattoos.
Right. You can sell it.
Somebody like me is gonna be like, whoa. I can get time here You know what I mean? When you know it's a freaking 4-year waiting list or whatever it is, you know what I mean? And I just think that's so cool because before it was all digitally generated rarity. You know, it's just a lottery system numerically, but like this is a real life tangible, whoa, I'll pay you for that because I want that utility or I want that appointment.
Exactly.
Yeah. I just a thought there, man. That's like,
it's
that's a huge resource.
StubHub right there.
Yeah. Dude, Mike, listen to this, man. We're getting you to talk for 2.5 hours, and we're dropping creative knowledge and marketing on you, bro. We got the whole thing going right now. Dude, that's the way Matt said that. I cannot think of a project where rarity actually matters in real life, and that's a really cool concept. And I'm sure you've probably thought about that, but.
We have, but not to that point. So we're gonna steal that from you.
And that, dude, steal it. And then again, like I said back,
really, really good concept.
That is marketing gold, 100%. And you can easily build some quick little stories around that. So that's great marketing PR content right there.
Well, and your goal is to bring people from Web 2. Listen, how many people are in Web 2 right now waiting in line for one of those artists? And this is their chance to
and this is their chance. That? This is how we can cross them over.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Via the secondary.
You'd have my attention.
Right. So, via the secondary. It could have already been dropped. You can buy the secondary market by getting in because you want that appointment. Exactly.
See? Gears are turning. I love it.
I love it, man.
Making money.
Let's do this again then.
Yeah. Dude, Maddie and I are more than happy to hop on the phone and have brainstorm creative sessions with you whenever. We do that a lot and we thoroughly enjoy it. So that the fact that we've been talking for 2.5 hours, I do need to go spend some time with my wife.
Yes, do your thing. Yes. I'll thank you from me. Appreciate it.
Oh, I will. She's used to it. She still doesn't even know what the hell I do. But when I show her a plane ticket to Italy one day and said, "Babe, I built a company for us to have true freedom,"
there you go.
She won't even really care. That'll just be we're going to Italy, right?
Awesome.
Then you'll tell her that it's with the midlife fam,
and all of my midlife fans coming, and they're gonna love it.
Love it.
Funny.
Awesome.
So yeah, I think this is how we kind of do it. I would love for you to just any last words about the project. That we got everybody here. The viewership's been growing the entire time. People are really excited. Any last words? I think you did a good shot. I want to give that for you, and then Maddie and I always have one question for you. And then we'll say our goodbyes, and I'm sure we'll be doing this again sooner than later. Does that sound good?
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say, but like just we're excited to, like I said, I have a fantasy to see every avatar tattooed, and I want to be a part of that, And I think everything else we're talking about is the mechanics behind the company, but like I just think that it's like I've watched it in real life happen, the culture evolve, and I think now it's time for the Web3 culture to evolve with it. So it's like a transformation. It's like a really interesting time for us to be alive and to be involved in this. Yeah,
100%. Cool, man. Great closing words. And so our one, I lied in the beginning when we were hanging out. We actually do ask 2 questions, and so the last question is, do you have any questions for us? And it's a 2-part question. Do you have any questions for us? And if not, totally fine. It seems like you've dealt with a lot of press and you've had a lot of conversations. We'd love to get your input on how you thought our last 2.5 hours went.
I enjoyed it. I think it's flawless. I got no constructive criticism. I just appreciate that you guys bringing us on board, and I like the fact that we can speak layman's terms and talk about the project, but also understand deeper when we get more into the tech side of the Web3 portion of it, how you really can, really get the roadmap of where we're going with this company and see the bigger picture. Because, when you talk to people, sometimes they just see it for what it is. And you're actually, especially what Maddie said, it's like, oh, I can see this and see that. But that's what excites me. You got it. You got the whole concept. So So no,
Yeah.
everything's been amazing. I appreciate it, and thank your wife for me again.
No, we thank you, and I think that you gave us feedback, and the word "flawless" was used, so that makes me feel warm and fuzzy
There you
inside.
go.
Love it.
And then, so I'll let Matt say his closing comments. I'll say mine, and we'll call it a night.
Cool.
Yeah, man. Fantastic conversation. It was interesting because, like I said before all of this started, this is one of the conversations that I've really been looking forward to, because this is also something that was important for Mikey and I, because this was a complete conversation spawned out of our decision to go out, network at NFT NYC, like I said, met you at the hate party. And I just think it is so cool, full circle, that conversation. And by the way, it is good marketing because, I don't have Guinness World Record tattoos, but I have a lot of tattoos. And it was like, I noticed tattoos. I start looking at the artwork, the lines, and all that stuff. And we started having a conversation. And now here we are. And what an amazing path it takes. Like, what if something from this then spawns from there, and that whole butterfly effect and ripple effect?
Exactly.
I just love how it all works. I love how networks are built. And so it's really, really cool to have you on the show, especially given that, again, we didn't, what was it, a month ago, NFT NYC?
Yeah.
We didn't know you then, and just fantastic how that's worked out. I think you guys I am extremely impressed with the team that you have put together. That's putting on, that's putting this project together. I really do mean when I said like it just, you kind of brought out the big guns. I mean, these are all people who have a lot of experience. They know what they're doing. They're sharp. And I think there's a lot of wisdom that's going to come with that. And I'm just excited to see where it goes. I'm kind of with Mikey. I love that this is such a ground level point, right? I feel like the people, it's one thing when we're talking to a project that's got so many freaking people in the community, they're flooding in the Twitch because they really just want whitelist or something like that. But at the end of the day, they already knew the project. This is one of the few times I feel like we really are talking about a gem that's out there that people just don't know yet, and it's going to pop. And it's kind of cool that I feel like we're going to be able to say we were there when, and we were there first, and it was just kind of cool. So,
and we will never forget that.
Yeah, It's going to be great, man. Can't wait to see where it goes. We're going to ride this.
Awesome.
It's going to be good.
Yeah, and so Maddie did a very good job of summarizing, but in my mind, there's a couple things that really stick out to me. One, just when we met in person at the hate party, man, I mean, you really struck me as, and this is what we're doing is this, like we said in the beginning, is being genuine, man. And there is you can easily tell when people are faking it, and you can easily tell when people are just genuine. And I immediately got that feeling from you. So I just appreciate the mindset you have. It's awesome to hear that you've applied it to business. I'm so excited that you're trying to do good things with, underprivileged kids. But you're also just kicking ass, and you're not afraid to be who you are. And I love that, because that is really what matters in life, is for you to have your shit straight. And I talk about this a lot, man, going through the stuff I went through. Self-awareness is top dog for me, right? And you are very self-aware, you can tell. And I just, dude, you keep on being you and doing what you're doing. You're going to be successful. You already have been successful.
Yeah,
I will say, grab on, because the Web3 space is a brutal freaking place. So even if you have the best team, you have the best art, shit still hits the fan, and your contract has to be impeccable. Midday is massive, right? But I will also challenge you to just not fall into, and I don't think you will, the just typical traps of basing everything around hype and follows and views. Like, it's all bullshit if you're building it the right way. And I know you guys can, I know you guys will. And dude, honored to have you on the show, and honored to now call you a friend, bro. A friend.
100%.
So
100%. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. So we will send you the YouTube link after this. And with that being said, peeps, Midlife Crisis fam, We will be on Sunday. We are going to have a chill stream. We have a bunch of pre-sale whitelist spots to give away. We're back in the grind. I'm talking to people, making things happen. So we're going to have a chill stream, recap the week, hang out, have fun, and give free shit away. That's what we like to do. Thank you all for being here. We love you all. Midlife crisis. Oh, man, I can't go hide this.